Hello and well met. Welcome to Isekai Realms. I believe this is episode lucky number 7.
Lucky
So,
seven.
hey, here we go. Going to Skullport. Good ideas on episode 7. I am Eric Scott DeV, one of the founders of the Dungeon Scrollers channel that you are currently watching. Thank you so much. I hope you enjoy this. I am playing myself, Elric Thalavar. Elric because my nephew used to call me Elric, and Thalavar because, well, I look like them in the realms, apparently. When you create someone, they look a little bit like you, apparently. Who would have thought? Paladin of Helm. I am struggling to be lawful good. We're going to Skullport. I'm sure I'll have no problems there. On that note, take it away, Allie.
Hi there, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford, or Ali for short. I'm a writer, game designer, TTRPG streamer. Uh, not formerly, still a mod, but member of the Scrawlers, and I may be turning chaotic neutral. I have no idea yet.
Ah,
Playing Amara Valerian, aka me in elf form, with a shadowy passenger up inside my head that will not leave me alone. Randy.
Hi, I'm Randy. I write stuff and play games, and yeah, that is me. And Joe.
Hello, everybody. I'm Joel Everett. Usually one of your mods in chat, posting silly polls under the handle Rumpus Imperator, but tonight I am playing myself as a recently undwarfed Myrmidon fighter. And I'm also here to tell you about our dice partners. Specifically, we've got Norse Foundry. They make very cool metal dice that feel like you are skillfully smashing the armor of the monster hordes when you roll them. They will dent your table. They're pretty awesome. And also, Phoenix Dice, so named because all of the materials that they use in producing their dice are made of recycled materials. So please check them both out. They should be linked. They should pop up in the doobly-doo while the show is going. Check them out. Thanks. Chris?
All right, and I am Chris, aka Chris the Grey, your dungeon master for the Isekai Realms. And we are now in, as you point out, Eric, episode 7 of Book 2. And since you pointed it out, I will note that in episode 7 of Book 1, you went to visit the Purple Lady Fest Hall. So it's kind of weird that episode 7 of Book 2, you're going to visit a fest hall. So how's that going to turn out?
it's like poetry, it rhymes.
I'm sure it'll turn out just as good as last time.
Yeah.
Joel's deepest fears confirmed.
I will
Anyway.
point out, heading
We
to a
just
fest
don't
hall,
learn.
heading to a fest hall to meet the same person we met at the previous fest hall.
And we don't have a token finder to token
last time we needed
halfling
divine
to
intervention to
sacrifice.
save us.
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Anyway, so by way of a recap, in episode 6, spent at the promenade, our players dealt with the events of episode 5, which is their big long conversation with the Chosen, played by friend of the channel, Ed Greenwood, and sort of learned some things about themselves, each other. Allie had a couple of great experiences with some NPCs at the promenade who were faithful of Elistray. And Joel had some nice conversations with Jamal, his Jedi Ghost Knight, that's providing him with Obi-Wan Kenobi style advice. Joel was dubious throughout most of the episode and will be dubious coming into this one. And Eric made a promise there would be no heroics in Skullport. So let's see how that one plays out here tonight.
We're the Scooby-Dooby Dubious gang.
You all think so little of me. I'm going to prove you all wrong.
Okie dokie.
Are you, though? Probably
So,
not.
When last you left off, you were meeting with Ilzreen, who is one of the Hands of the Protectors for the Promenade, and she indicated that she was going to take you all through a series of tunnels into the city itself. We decided that we would leave Rhiannon behind, or rather, Rhiannon decided she would leave you all behind, but you decided that you would leave Rhiannon with the kids. So 2 twins and young Gedrin. And we'll see how that plays out in our cameo by Rhiannon, which will be coming up in a little bit. But you're taking, I presume, your gear into this encounter. Is
Yes.
that a fair statement? Nobody's
Mhm.
leaving anything on the table, so to speak, back in the promenade.
Mm-hmm.
Are you taking all the cash? Or
I was
you
gonna
leaving the
say, I don't know
cash?
if I want to take all our cash into
Do we-
Skullport, but
Do we need it?
How much cash are we talking?
I mean, you've got several hundred gold pieces worth of monies between the members of the party. And then you've got a couple of gems, some of which are worth up to 1,000 gold pieces each, and some of which are 50 gold pieces each. It might be a smart idea to just say, here's what we're not going to take with us. Like, we'll take only 20 gold in the whole party. Something like that. Like, what would you like to do on that?
that's exactly what I'd like to do. Just kind of to make a deposit at the Bank of Rhiannon, and
It's got favorable rates.
yeah.
Fair.
Okay. So there's 4 of you. Do you want to have 5 gold each? And you've got 20 gold worth of gold?
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Do you want that in gold or an assortment of coins?
Assortment.
Okay, so I'll assume you have a smattering of each.
And I'm gonna have I'm gonna put most of it down my cod piece, but then I'll put a little a decoy purse with a couple coppers and
All right.
a wad of cloth or something on my belt.
Nobody has informed me of this massive windfall we apparently had while I was off with Gedrin, so I'm just going to go ahead and take my purse.
That happened some time ago, Joel. So they just didn't inform you.
Okay, I'm taking my 2 gold that I is all I have. So,
but I'm pretty sure given the nature of this armor, I'm pretty sure there's some places to secret things on it.
One
so
can hide things within it. Yes.
I'm going to hide my coinage.
So let's quickly, just so we understand it, go through the magic items that you've got with you and how you have them presently distributed. So, Allie, you have the armor, you have the boots.
And the stiletto.
Plus, you have your own rapier you just bought, which is non-magical, but still pretty nice. An assortment of potions. I assume you all are at least bringing 1 healing potion along for the ride.
Yeah, I've got... I'm probably not going to bring the stuff that we haven't identified, just because I don't see a need for that. I know we wanted to talk to somebody before we leave the promenade, but right now I'm fine leaving it behind. So the studded leather bracers, the couple of rings, that stuff just can get left behind.
1 healing potion or 1 extra healing potion? What do you want?
I'll take the healing.
Okay, so you will take a healing potion. That is your potion of choice on your person at this time. Joel, you are gearing up, and I gave you a spend 600 gold or less for any assortment of items. What'd you get? You got 1,600 10-foot poles and 300,000 feet of rope.
Actually, I picked up a suit of plate mail since I was just rolling around in my regular armor. So that and along with a long sword and a light crossbow, and that actually takes me a little bit over. But
okay, so you're shieldless.
No, I still have my shield. That is the one thing that still fits after my resizing from dwarfdom.
So AC2, rocking a solid AC2 with that plate mail. And I'm sorry, longsword was your main weapon?
Longsword, yes, and a light crossbow. And I still have the dagger. Well, I'm sorry, the dagger also that I had previously.
But you don't have any of the weird and wacky magic items that the party distributed.
I do not have any magic items. No.
Okay, Randy, what have you got of the weird and wacky magic items that the party distributed?
I think the only thing I really ended up with was possibly the mask of disguise.
Okay.
And I have
my
my amulet of finder, but I don't know if that has inherent magical properties. Mm-hmm. And a healing potion. Yeah.
Okay, so you're also going healing as opposed to extra healing.
Actually, I have one of the extra healing right now.
All right, and Joel extra healing because fighter.
Probably a good idea.
Okay, sounds like a good one.
From?
The party's store of potions. So Rhiannon, because it's the Bank of Rhiannon, as we discussed a moment ago.
Okay.
First National Bank of Rhiannon. Okay, so Eric, you have the mask, or the horned mask.
The horned mask. The cloak.
Cloak.
Yep.
Vindicator always.
Well, I have Vindicator, but I don't have Vindicator summoned. So I don't have Vindicator on me.
So Vindicator's back at the ranch then.
Yep.
Okay. And a normal rapier in place of Vindicator.
I just took my short sword because
normal short sword in place of Vindicator. Right. And I believe you said something about studded leather armor?
Correct. I bought myself a suit of stud leather armor so that I don't look like a fool who walks into Skullport unarmored.
A wise choice.
Oh, yeah.
But I
phenomenal.
figure it's all in dark tones, so I look more like some kind of rogue or scoundrel than like a knight of any kind.
That does seem reasonable. Randy, you were about to say give me armor?
Yeah, I mean, if you just asked for what magical items we were having, so but for non-magical, yeah, I would
Equipment,
have.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have.
What kind would you like?
Ideally studded leather.
All right,
If it
studded
doesn't
leather it
interfere
is.
with magic. I can't
Yeah.
remember the rules from 2E. So
You'll be fine because you're a bard and a cleric, so you'll be all set.
okay, and I don't know if they were able to, dye it crimson, but that would be cool.
They didn't have time for that, sadly, but
Okay.
they can give you a sash if you want one.
Yeah, heck yeah. And
okay, there you go.
And yeah, and then I think I had asked for a short bow and a footman's mace.
You had acquired both in the last or 2 episodes ago.
A Gothic mace.
Indeed, it's very flanged. It's very flanged.
And Eric also, either Eric or Joel ended up with also the brooch that was a brooch of defense and healing.
It was not me.
I was about to cover that. There were 2 items unaccounted for. One is that brooch, and the other is the ring of what you think is free action. That was on Rhiannon.
Rhiannon had that and the wand of lightning, yeah.
Yes.
I think I do have that brooch, yeah. We don't necessarily know what it does, but I do have it.
Did you display that, or did you inquire of Laryl when you were in her presence? I don't remember. I think you did.
Eric
I want to say somebody
would
said
have
something.
forgotten, but Elric probably would have asked.
All right. That is a brooch of defense and healing, right? Capian Fleurmeister, if you've ever heard of him, makes those things. And one of the things that they do is grant you armor class bonus, couple of points of AC. And the other thing that they do is when you are wounded, when you are first wounded wearing one, it will go off. This happens once a day, and you'll immediately roll 4d4 and add that to your hit point total. Any hit points above your maximum stick around as phantom hit points for up to 24 hours. So you may wish to consider how you distribute that accordingly.
Quick point of clarification. Can that be passed around? Is that once a day total? Or if you pass it to a new user, does that reset?
Once a day. There's no spamming it. Once a day total.
What bonus did you say it granted to AC?
+2 to AC, like a ring of protection +2.
Wow.
It's
pretty awesome item.
Cappy and Fleurmeister, cool dude.
I'm going to suggest that Joel take this, actually.
If you're a frontline fighter, I think I'm already down to a 2 AC. I think you should probably have it.
Okay, I still think you should have it.
No, you're in studded leather. You have as many hit points as I do.
Okay, well, if I take it and I'm just using the stud leather, that makes my AC 1. If I call on the Armor of Faith, which is what I would probably do, that would make my armor class -3. So, if you want to use the brooch, that's okay by me. I will use it.
I'm good.
If you really don't want it.
You use it. You've got
all right.
It. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to also point out one detail, which I pointed out before. The cloak. If you wear it openly, it displaces you a couple of feet away from where you look. So you'll be in tight quarters in this place. So you might want to just toss it over a shoulder and not have it actually applicable until you go into a fight.
Yep, that's what I have going on.
Okay.
Look like a game glitch where you're half in a wall or something.
Yes, right. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to think of Cyberpunk 2077 on its first day of release. Anyway, so shots fired.
Or like any Bethesda game.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh.
So you'll gear up. You will go in the presence of a patrol of drow, 6 in number, led by Ilzrine, and she will lead you out of the promenade through the many tunnels that depart from that location. You are back out for the first time in several episodes, but at least, a day, into danger again. The promenade is a reasonably safe place. Skullport and Undermountain surrounding it isn't. There's very few even vaguely safe places within those locations. So danger will envelop you with darkness once more, and you will have to be on your heightened alert. You are in the center of the group of drow, with 3 in your front and 3 in your rear, because they're basically doing their bit to protect you as you go towards the city. Jamal is still with you, Randy, scouting only a few feet ahead, but scouting a few feet ahead to see if there's any danger that she might be able to alert you all to. And you'll have a moment of, I won't use the word terror, but like anxiety. As you approach the entryway to the city, you can start to hear in the distance the sounds of a city, clanging and voices and murmurs, and the smells of a city, which this city does not smell great. It's kind of like a garbage scow in high tide or low tide in a swamp. So you'll detect its smell before you detect its sound.
Okay.
As you approach this entryway, Ilzreen will inform you, and she's talking to you, Eric, because you're the biggest dude, and you two had a moment at the end of the last episode. And she will say, the entry that you are about to go through is known as Beggar's Rest Pass. It's told that during the time of troubles, a great many people died in a magical accident at this location, and a number of them exist as undead underneath the stones and packed earth of the court that you'll be emerging into. Do not spill blood within it, unless you want them to be crawling up out of the ground trying to devour you. Word to the wise.
Wait, what was this?
Nobody...
Like,
okay,
what-
Randy,
what- what was
Randy,
this?
you're the only one with a blunt weapon, so it's all on you.
Get in there and kill those undead, Randy.
I do
Or-
have.
I think I can turn undead as well, in theory.
There you go. Even neater, even tidier. Just turn them away.
Well, before we head in, I'm actually going to. I still have that mask that I borrowed from Jamal, and
Okay. Because I thought Randy said a moment ago he was
no, not that
sporting
mask,
that.
not that mask.
Okay,
It's this is non-magical.
Oh, the
It's a-
domino mask. The domino
Yeah,
mask.
I'm gonna slip that on.
Okay. Excellent. So at least there's some level of disguise.
Mm-hmm.
Seems reasonable. Okay. So you have arrived at a space or a spot, maybe 2 rounds travel from Beggar's Rest Pass, and your drow escorts stop. Elistrave watch over you.
And you.
Right.
Right.
Many thanks.
Have you got a marching order in mind?
Dark Maiden, keep you safe. Well, I can.
I look to Amara for guidance here.
I'm definitely not. Well,
That's
don't
what I
know
was
you.
doing.
Yep.
I can move ahead, not far enough that y'all can't see me, but just ahead so I can kind of keep an eye out for anything that might be lurking ahead of us. I'll just try to be, quick and stealthy about it. And then maybe, I would say Elric, then Randy, then Joel. Joel, bring up the rear.
Okay.
How far ahead of the rest of the group do you want to be?
Far enough that I could hopefully see something. If there is going to be something to worry about, I can see it early enough to shout a warning back to everybody else. So I'm not sure how.
So 20 feet at least, I would think.
We also have Jamal ahead of us. Don't forget. So, but
True.
she can.
I don't know. I'm being wary. I want to trust my own eyes rather than rely on someone I can't see.
Fair enough.
Okay.
So yeah,
So
all 20 feet.
you will do that. You'll close that 2 rounds, which really sort of turns into 4 rounds because you're moving cautiously, and you will find yourselves rather unexpectedly spilled out into the city at large. Have any of you played in Skullport before in a D&D game?
I've read
I don't
books
think so.
with characters that went to Skullport, but I haven't
There you go.
played
Uh,
a game there.
Ed has an excellent short story. I forget the specific title of it, but something like a tough night in Skullport, or whatever the case may be, which has Mert the Moneylender as the star. I think it gives you a very good flavor for those wishing to experience Skullport. But I'll do my bit to give you a sense of it now. You'll enter into what is a large chamber, much larger than the Cavern of Song, and the Cavern of Song is not small. It is a riot of sounds, architecture, beings, except for the first 30, 40 feet, which is this flat, stone cobbled, dirt cobbled courtyard up against the wall that leads to the chamber out of here. It is eerily quiet here, ominously so, unlike the usual cacophony of the city, almost like it's being suppressed preternaturally. But you can see, just beyond this, the lean-to chaos of buildings that represents Skullport. So do you wish to quickly cross this space?
Yes. Once we're out into the space, I'll wait for the others to catch up, and then I'll start moving across. And as I'm moving, I will kind of think. You said you could offer guidance. We're here.
Excellent. I can see that. You wish to go straight ahead for at least a block and a half. Follow that, and you're looking in the direction of a broad thoroughfare. Well, broad thoroughfare is about 20 feet in Skullport. Road. Path.
All right.
Let's call it a path. Okay. So,
All right. Stick close, I'll say to the others.
does that mean that you wish to compress your marching distance a bit?
Yeah.
So is it safe to say that from the front of the party to the back of the party is maybe a maximum of 15 feet, possibly less if you can manage it?
I think so, just because we're now moving through, like, an urban environment.
Inhabited
think-
space.
Inhabited space. I think keeping our party close together would be good.
Okay. So once you cross the courtyard, that is the Beggar's Rest, you will plunge into the chaotic vibrancy that is the lower heart of Skullport. That's what this section of the city is called. It serves as the nerve center of Skullport, home to a bizarre mix of races and professions. The streets here are paved with cobblestones and large slabs firmly embedded in the earth, providing a stable path amid the chaos. Its architecture is a striking demonstration of necessity and ingenuity slammed together. The city is vertically layered into at least 3 primary levels. Cavern is big, but it is, at the end of the day, only a cavern. So if you wish to have a city, much like modern cities, you have to go up. And the lower level, where you are, is bustling with ground level activities and is the city's most densely populated area. Moving upward, as you look skyward, the central level consisted of an elaborate and chaotic network of catwalks and bridges constructed from a dazzling array of materials ranging from ship riggings to stalagmites. These catwalks connect the middle tiers of buildings and other structures, allowing residents and visitors to move among the streets above. So it's like a web of streets above the streets. The lighting here is sparse, with occasional glowing fungi and lanterns providing dim illumination that casts large, twisting shadows all around this section of the city. As you get past and into the heart of the lower heart, the upper level looms above the middle level of this place, a maze of high catwalks and platforms that cling to the cavern's ceiling. Here, structures seem to be more isolated and secretive, accessible via ladders or precarious rope bridges, with occasional glimpses from the ground of creatures or figures moving in the dim light. As you move along this block, you'll be making your way through a bustling mix of commerce and clandestine activities. The streets below on the first level are filled with traders and pedestrians, while the upper levels are quieter, with sounds of distant conversation or the clink of metal echoing down from them. The complexity of the city's verticality means that sounds from one level can kind of drift to another, creating a layered auditory experience that mixes shouts, bartering voices, and the creak of wooden planks underfoot. The air is damp and heavy with the scent of the sea, the underground, mingling with the sweet aromas of street food and the waft of something less pleasant from the shadows. Anything I need to know about how you are proceeding along?
I think Amara is going to be moving, like she's following the directions that the voice is giving her. So and given the nature of this place, I'm going to be trying to move like with confidence, acting like I'm supposed to be there. Yeah, exactly. You know, I'm confident, I'm armored, I'm openly armed, like. So hopefully that in and of itself will be enough of a deterrent to keep people from coming at us.
You are sending the "I am not prey" message.
Doing my best.
All right. Joel, anything I need to know about how you're navigating the streets of Skullport?
I think in this case, one of the benefits of my Myrmidon kit might be relevant in that anybody who is looking at me recognizes me as a professional soldier, career soldier. So that might be helpful in terms of this is not a party that you want to mess with, and I am not being covert about the fact that I am, heads on a swivel, including for behind us, and just keeping an eye out.
So you're all projecting strength. Well, the two of you so far.
Trying to. I mean, I'm clanking along, so I'm not going to be subtle.
You are most assuredly armed and armored. All right, Eric?
I basically do what I usually do when I'm walking with a group of people in a dark city, and that is that I kind of like naturally become the defensive buffer sort of person. Like if there's another group of people coming toward us, like I casually move between them and everyone else, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm big and intimidating. And I think between Joel and myself, we're probably pretty off-putting for people who want to mess with us.
That seems fairly reasonable. Randy?
What do you mean about you and Joel? Like, what about me too? I'm pretty intimidating.
He's got a ferret hat. Who's gonna mess with that guy?
I was going to say, I'm going to try and mentally connect and say, like,
isn't with
scary.
You.
Oh,
the ferret
okay.
Isn't with you. I don't know. At one point in time, the ferret decided that Skullport was a bad place to be. Maybe it had a previous traumatic experience, but somewhere between, it looked like the ferret was going to eat something, and we were gearing up for Skullport. Ferret plumb disappeared. Darn ferret.
Sad when the ferret is smarter than you. So yeah,
we need a meme.
Well,
we need a meme around that, Randy. We need a meme around that statement. Okay.
I'm just really glad that we got out of Westgate so that we could visit someplace, brighter and lovelier like Skullport.
Yeah. Like Westgate, but darker.
Yes. This is worse than Westgate in almost every way.
It's multi-level Westgate. All right, so I will, but I'll just, walk with my mace in hand, kind of just glaring around.
People. Guy. Look at my sash. It's very bright.
That's right.
Okay. You'll go about a block and you will pass on your right-hand side. The cavern wall also is sort of behind the row of buildings on your right-hand side. You will pass on your right-hand side what looks like a ramshackle tavern, right? That has on its sign out front what looks like a hellhound, because it's breathing fire and it's reddish, blah, 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 and it has a muzzle on it. That is what that is. None of the rest of the buildings appear to be explicitly themed for commerce in a way that they're welcoming to you walking inside them.
Mm-hmm.
No, nothing. Just keep going. Okay.
I mean, I'll note the sign. It doesn't seem to indicate the place we're looking for, and I'm still following the directions from the
Got it.
voice.
Which
Get in,
after
get out, no
another
side strips.
yeah, that's right. You should have made him pledge to that one. Which after another 50 feet or so, it will say you will want to go straight down the next street. When you see a large thoroughfare, large for this place, on your right, stop.
All right. And I'll look to the others and just kind of motion in the direction and keep going.
Okay. As you progress deeper into the city, the air grows thick with the scent of the ocean mixed with rotting produce and sewage. The streets are a riot of beings of all shapes and sizes. Humans, dwarves, Durgar? Are those Durgar? Drow, goblinoids of various types, from goblins to kobolds to orcs to hobgoblins, and true monsters like mind flayers walking in groups of two, just strolling down the road. It's both shocking and a little fear-inducing all at once, especially with the sheer multitude of shadowed alleyways, catwalks, and doorways abounding. This is a perfect ambush nightmare that you're trumping through at this particular moment. The whole place feels like the jaws of a trap ready to spring closed at any moment.
Oh, I'm wary. I'm keeping wary at this point.
A very wise choice.
What's the
As
most
you're
surprise? Oh, sorry.
Go
I was
ahead.
gonna say,
Brandon.
like, as we're seeing all of these iconic creatures in real life, what's the thing we're most surprised? Like, oh, that's really not how they were in the books at all.
I would say the group of a half dozen lizard men that you'll encounter. That's probably they've got sort of like pebbly, blackish skin as opposed to like that bright green, like that you think with the alligator mouth. It's not quite like that at all. So that's probably the most like, I think they got the pictures wrong. But mind flayers with the purpley skin and the sort of slime and the flat white eyes, they're kind of what you would expect.
I start thinking, don't think about that thing. Don't think about that thing. Don't think about that thing. That would be really embarrassing if someone knew. Don't think about that thing.
Oh, the Emperor.
Rushing off of your... Jamal?
Don't think about that one scene with the Emperor. Don't think about that one scene with the Emperor.
Didn't we get Isekai before the game actually came out?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, but you might have been playing in early access.
Was that
Anything's possible.
Not the point.
Not
Jamal?
the point, but you know.
I haven't played the game, so I don't know the reference. But
Okay, I'll send you a video later.
Okay.
Jamal has given up on trying to warn you of potentially dangerous things ahead, Randy, because she'd come back and she'd say the blah blah blah, and then she'd come back and then she'd say well, and so now she's just like, if something looks like it's going to attack you, I'll tell you. But there's just this place is filled with there's ambush alleys all around us. This is insane. That's her philosophy about traveling through Skullport.
Okay.
Joel feels vindicated. Okay,
and she's from Westgate, so it's not like she's some country mouse.
No,
anyway,
she's not a blushing child of 12 winters. Okay, so as you walk the city streets, you see and hear the following things. One, suspicious stares. A group of wary, shadowed figures eyeing you up, half a dozen or so, from the shadows near an alleyway's entrance, whispering to each other in hushed tones as they seem to size you up as you pass. Every time I mention one of these things, I'm going to ask if you have a specific response. Do you have a specific response?
Can I catch what they're saying with my elven hearing?
I don't know. Maybe you can roll percentile dice.
Oh, percentile. Okay. Let's see here, because I do have the sound.
You do?
Ooh. So I got a 93, so that's not going to do it.
That will not do it. They're mumbling successfully given the cacophony of the city itself. The second group of things that comes to your attention is a group of beggars, like ragged beggars, combination of human and dwarven, all men with dirty, trembling hands, their eyes wide, with a mix of hope and desperation lurking in the alleyways. You're trying to appear intimidating, and so they will not approach you. Does anyone want to throw coin in their direction? Or
No.
to engage them at all?
That's
No,
a
you
terrible
No,
idea.
I don't.
You gotta be like real dangerous to beg in Skullport. No, we don't want to mess with that.
Okay, all right. Next, an open air bazaar at a street corner as you're moving from one to the other, and there's a side street that's entering the main street you're headed down. Teeming with activity is what looks like goblins, orcs, and other Denzians hawk strange wares to passersby, glowing mushrooms, dried fish, and dubious-looking liquid concoctions, shouting over each other to attract buyers. Anybody interested in the
Oh,
eclectic
dubious looking
bazaar
liquid
of-
concoctions.
Randy?
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
no,
nobody?
no.
Oh, okay.
Stop.
Oh no!
No,
See,
no,
all
I'm
these,
good.
all these
I'm
little
good.
adventures, these tasty little adventure hooks. You're just walking right by them.
Mm-hmm.
Next, above, just sort of by surprise, precarious catwalks crisscross between higher levels of the city. And a near miss occurs as a plank snaps underfoot with someone up there, sending a cloaked figure tumbling, but catching themselves in time before they fall off of the shattered catwalk into the street in front of you.
Hmm.
Any engagement with that exciting plot hook? Wow,
I
this is
look
the
the
most
other way.
This is how I
look
imagine
behind
this
us to make
walk
sure
is
this
going.
Is not a distraction.
Yeah.
The way I
am-
imagine this. Sorry.
Yeah, go
Go ahead.
ahead.
I was gonna say the way I imagine this walk is going for me is I'm like, oh, and I'm like distracted. I start wanting, and Joel's like, Randy, and I'm like, oh. And Joel's like, Randy. I'm like, finally,
Back.
Joel just moved me in front of him. And,
No starfish.
And is like,
Just
Yeah.
hand on top of the head, like.
yeah,
Focus.
Yeah,
Focus.
it's requiring
Focus.
all of your powers to control Randy's natural curiosity.
I mean, between
Well,
that,
like,
my ADHD, yeah, like
that
I'm
guy's
just
all the
like,
way up on a
oh,
catwalk.
a
If we
what?
tried
What?
to get up
Distraction?
there-
What?
If we tried to get up there, he would possibly either get himself up or fall before we could actually get up to help him. So
I mean, that seems entirely legitimate. Okay, so moving on, you'll turn the next section of street, and you will see, as you're passing a narrow alleyway, a brutal scuffle breaks out among what looks like thieves arguing amongst themselves over the ill-gotten gains of a recent heist. And some of it will spill out of the passageway into the street, forcing passersby to swiftly navigate around or through the chaos. So, cutthroats fighting amongst themselves? Anybody? I mean, they've got treasure in there. You can see it glinting.
Amara said no heroics. Amara said no heroics. Amara said no heroics.
I
Keep
will
going.
I will skirt around, especially since like I imagine stuff is spilling into the street. This is Skullport. I'm just imagining people going for that already. So I'm just like,
Oh yeah.
oh no, I am going around that nonsense.
We're just gonna
Okay.
assume it's part of a con, right?
Yeah, it's all just a confidence game to try to get rubes like yourselves to go down those alleyways. That's what it is. The whole
right.
place is a trap. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, the voice will say, "We are about halfway there. Good
Understood.
job. Good job maintaining discipline amongst the ranks."
We walk warily down
they've
the street
impressed
with a
me.
head down low. No sound.
All right.
All right.
So, you're approaching that intersection, right?
Mhm.
And at this intersection, an impromptu marketplace seems to have sprung up. A bustling market where there looks to be exotic pets, from giant spiders to tiny jewel-colored lizards, being sold from cages stacked one atop the other.
Hmm.
Please roll 20-sided dice for me.
I rolled a 4.
Or as well.
Ooh, dueling fours.
Lucky
I got a-
13.
13.
And I got a 3.
Okay, so those rolling 3s, 4s will spot from amongst the various things in the cages what looks to be a a kitten, right? Like a scruffy black cat that's sitting in one of these cages. And it looks like it's being sold as a food item rather than as a pet item from the way that it's sort of contained within this cage. So your attention will be drawn to that. You, Randy, were mercifully spared with your 13 because you were busy looking at the jeweled colored lizards in that other cage over there.
Oh, okay.
The sight of this poor, pathetic, half-starved kitten sitting in this crate.
Okay, I'll walk over there.
Damn it. Eric. Or Elric.
Shelley would have disowned him if he hadn't.
I point to the cat.
You know what?
Okay,
I'm just going to keep walking.
You walk past things that eat people, and you're determined to rescue the cat.
Okay, so hang on. We're going to take these one at a time. Amara does not stop. Just keep it going. Eric, who is second in the marching order, just takes a step off in the direction of the caged animals.
Mara could tell that I broke rank because my aura protection fades from her.
Oh yeah.
You're getting some looks on the street, Eric. You are 100% getting some looks on the street as things go by you.
Okay.
Just smack your lips as you reach for the cat. Like, I'm really hungry, and that'll.
I'm gonna do the thing that one of my cats does when he's hungry, which is that he mimes eating because that's the only way he can communicate it to us. He's like, "Mwah, mwah, mwah."
Okay. We'll get there. We'll get there, buddy. Okay, Joel.
Either meet the asking price or keep walking. No negotiation.
Okay, so that's just to him, and then you're going to continue following Amara.
No, I'm gonna stop and
split
grab
party.
Randy. Grab Randy as well.
Party.
I am. Well, no, Eric split the party, and I am.
Okay, and Randy.
Yeah, I'm just like Joel grabs him like, what? Huh? Oh,
the kitten. Okay, so are you going with the kitty or staying with Amara?
I'm going with Joel and Eric.
Okay, Amara, you are going to take
I'll
several steps.
Try and tell Jamal to like, oh, she can't warn.
She can warn
it's
you.
All right, this should only
Amara
take a
was in
minute.
trouble.
Yeah, I'll say
We get back and Amara's just gone.
Keep an eye on Amara and let us know.
I will watch her and come back to you if there's trouble. So
go.
Amara, it won't be like 15 feet before you notice that they off to the side, and then Joel says a thing, and then Randy says a thing. Do you want to stop and wait for them, or just keep going?
Oh, you know what? I'm of two minds on this. So I'm going to
flip a coin.
Die of fate. Yeah.
I'm gonna keep walking.
Oh, nice. Okay. All right. You will do that.
Out of character. I told you.
Look, buying a cat for lunch is not a heroic act. Okay?
I know. Look, you know how much willpower it took me to keep walking?
I mean, right? Okay.
Yeah, it took a D20 roll.
So, Eric, you are rolling up on this booth, right? It's a bunch of people all collected together selling these caged animals in the street. But there's one particular vendor that has this cat amongst a bunch of other things. She seems to also have a bunch of birds, right? But those are more for keeping than eating. And she is a withered old crone. So like 80 somethings, bent at the waist, cloaked into tattered rags of a black cloak, long nose, sharp. Ooh, those are sharp little claws. She's got. Ooh, okay. She will snap her head up in your direction as you approach.
I point to the cat.
She is evil, Eric. She is evil.
Cat.
You will point at the cat. She will look at you like she's got something unpleasant in her mouth as you approach. And she will
probably a cat.
Spit onto the ground. Green, bubbling liquid. Oh, she had a black tongue. Eric. Green, bubbling liquids sort of hissing on the ground below you, or on the ground near your foot.
Is the green bubbling liquid also evil?
Does
it have evil intent?
It has separated from its evil master, so it is now just a unnatural liquid on the ground.
It is merely a tool of evil, not evil itself.
Of evil, not evil itself. If we learned anything here tonight, Eric, that is the takeaway message. Okay, so you'll point at the cat. She will look up at you, she'll spit on the ground, and she will say, cackles. She cackles effectively. 5 gold.
I pull out 2 gold and I show it to her.
You are 3 short, paladin. She says that just like that thing she spat on the ground.
I pull out 1 more gold.
Perhaps your friends have gold. Otherwise, perhaps I will consume this little creature right now. She's reaching her hand into the box.
I got a golder.
Is this how
Okay.
you want to resolve this situation? Or will you just take the 3 gold?
Could you roll 2 10-sided dice, add them together, and let me know what the number is?
12.
She'll issue out a sharp bark. She has one hand on the scruff of the cat inside the container. I'll take 4, paladin, and we can walk away here with no blood spilled on the ground.
Fine, I give her the 4.
Okay. She will put out a wickedly clawed hand and hold up a scrawny, miserable-looking cat in the
Great.
other.
Great.
Okay. You will place your 4 gold into her palm
I
and
will.
take your cat.
Yep.
Enjoy it, she will say.
The guilt that Amara feels at walking away from the cat is incredible.
Derek, you're holding a
And-
cat.
I'm on a
I
mission.
will. Then I walk away.
Okay. All right.
So there are 2 levels to this, in that we just like confirm for Chris the Grey, hey, they'll just walk right by people in trouble, but if I throw a cat in their way,
Yeah. And we just confirmed that that we have large amounts of cash in our pockets
yeah, that's the
Not
other way.
anymore.
for the crowd. Yeah.
Okay. So Eric, this poor, half-starved mewling thing is sort of sitting limply in your hand. What do you want to do with it?
I am gonna unbutton my jerkin a little bit and just kind of
Mhm.
tucking him in.
All right. You got yourself a warm, stinky, but warm little kitty.
That's fine. I've been
next to
stinky
your heart.
before.
Keep.
Yeah, you have. For
Let's get going.
much worse reasons.
Yeah.
go
I
go
will
ahead, Joel.
say,
I was just I'm gonna try to get them both moving again. Okay, mission accomplished. Let's go.
Okay.
Don't let her out of sight.
So you let her out of sight. So Allie,
Yeah, Allie's
you
gone.
you went to the next intersection, basically.
mhm.
And, natural caution will stop you there. And you'll listen back to see if you hear people screaming and shouting in the streets because Eric's just pulled a freaking Vindicator on some cat seller.
I'll slow my gait a little bit just so I'm not
Yeah.
barreling ahead. But
As you roll to that corner, the voice will say, "Perhaps I spoke too soon," and it will chuckle slightly.
a little bit.
Shall we tarry here a moment for them?
Just a moment. If they're not
All right.
here in a few, then I'll press on.
So
And
as
I'll
you,
find a spot against one of the walls to lean.
well, let me tell you what
Okay.
you see at this corner.
Okay.
There is a stone building, sort of leaning in on itself, right? But it was a formerly grand stone building. And it has a moss-covered wall, one wall where the entire side of it is covered in this dark, luminescent moss. There is a deal of some kind going down right in front of this wall, involving several cloaked individuals, 3 on one side, 4 on the other, and a case of glowing stones. One of them has opened it up, shown it to the others. You catch a glimpse of that. There appears to be the deal going down. The transaction is tense, with many onlookers keeping their distance. You're in a perfect spot to watch this thing happen. On one side of this commerce is dwarves. On the other side of this the commerce is men.
Yeah, I'll find a spot out of the way of that. I'm definitely not wanting to get involved, but I'll keep an eye out for the others while kind of watching this. Just kind of lean up against the wall and
Okay.
wait.
You have a good vantage point for both of those things. Jamal will return to you, Randy, just as you're getting underway, and say, She seems to be safe. She's stopped and is waiting for you.
Okay. I'll convey that. And then...
All right. And now you're all underway and headed to that intersection. You will arrive at it. Please roll 20-sided die. 3 of you.
19.
12.
8.
Okay. And Randy, you, after a moment looking around, because you're all kind of looking around the intersection, where is Amara? Spot her across the way, leaning against a wall in a casual, I'm waiting for you clowns sort of a way.
The little waggle of her fingers.
Yep.
I'll tell the guys where she's at. She's across the street, over there by the wall. Okay.
All right. So you will cross the thoroughfare and gather together?
Yeah.
Well, it seems as though we've acquired our wayward lambs. We are only about a block away. So ready yourself.
I will look at Elric, though. And is the cat visible?
Elric, is the cat visible?
I don't know. Is he poking his head out? Does he want to see what's going on?
No.
No. Then there's just this bulge, like over my heart.
Did you save the cat?
I saved the cat.
I'll just kind of smile a little bit at that. All right. And keep walking. Good.
All right.
And the rest of this mission follows the Save the Cat beat sheet.
Yeah, there you go. If you have achieved nothing else here today, you have saved a kitty. Okay.
I'm going to cuddle that cat so much. Anyway, moving on.
All right. So you'll round the turn that should lead you to the last block before you arrive at your destination. As you navigate this turn, a particularly crowded section of the city, you're almost now in the center of the lower heart of the city of Skullport. So sort of like almost equidistant to the north wall, the south wall, with everything looming above you. So the press of, I'd say humanity, but it's more than humanity, is all around you. There's probably on the street 300 beings within a pretty close proximity of you all, like 100 feet in each direction. It's packed in pretty tight. But this particularly crowded section looming ahead is thick with goblin activity. The area reeks of damp stone and the murky, undefinable odors of underground commerce. Anything special I should know about navigating in this area? Allie?
I'll move carefully. I'll try to be wary for anything that comes toward us, any pickpocketing attempts, anything of that of that variety. But I'm gonna keep moving toward our destination.
Joel, anything special you want me to know?
No change to what I was doing before.
Okay.
Still trying to maintain 360.
Gotcha. Randy?
Yep, just being wary and back in their play.
All right, and Eric?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and keep a lookout on what's going on and just kind of scritch the cat a little bit.
You are taller than pretty much everybody on this street, and so that gives you an opportunity to be head and shoulders literally above the crowd, which is helpful, except when spotting tiny things. The cat seems to be burrowed in tight up against your skin. Let's say the cat's had a rough week, and so it is not interested in socializing.
Yeah, that's fine.
So it's not being eaten or mistreated, so bonus on it. It is happy to cuddle up against you.
Great.
So you won't fail to spot the incoming excitement, because there's really no way to avoid spotting it, because you're all on your alert. The quartet of individuals that is ambush, and we're going to use that term loosely here, because it's commerce-based ambush, that is about to ambush you, are fairly crafty little buggers. When I say little, they literally are under 3 feet tall. As goblins are wont to be. Because it's clear that they picked a moment when you were kind of stuck in a crowd and you really had no choice but to be approached by these goblins. So, like, if you've ever been in a large convention filled with people and you're going down an alleyway or a hallway in the convention and you cannot turn around because there are people all around you, all sort of pushing and crowding in one direction, and the only way to turn would be to beat your way through that crowd or something like that, which perhaps you'll all do in a moment. We'll see. But you're sort of pinned in, and you're about to be subject to a mercantile ambush from these 4 goblins. Now, I got to tell you, this bold quartet of goblin merchants are a motley crew, each bearing the scars of a hard-lived life. One goblin, missing an eye, wears a patch that barely clings to its grimy face. Another limps heavily on a crudely fashioned wooden leg, while his companion, who's lost several fingers on each hand, tries to balance a tray of rather dubious-looking pies? I think those are meant to be pies. The 4th, their leader, and the most vocal, has dull yellow eyes gleaming with a mix of cunning and eagerness. Their skin is a patchwork of dirty orange and red hues, typical of goblins. Their clothes are as much patches and stitches as fabric, dyed in dark, soiled colors that blends with the shadow of the streets. Their arms, long and ending in sharp clawed fingers, gesture animatedly as they shout to you in common. The lead goblin says, with a wide, toothy grin, "Meat pies! Fresh, tasty, only 1 copper nib. Best in Skullport. Yes, yes." The second goblin, waving a pie, which is, oh my god, that's squirming with something that looks like worms. Hopefully that's worms. Look, still moving, very fresh, good for stomach, make you strong. The limping goblin, trying its best to maintain its goblin balance, says, "It's good, you no regret. Bye. And the last goblin, nudging closer, eyes squinting meaningfully, "You look like you need good food, yes? Try. Best pies. Not find better in all port." So, gentle ladies and men, what are your responses to this quartet of goblin merchants?
They approach the front of the formation?
They do. They
They approach from the front? Okay.
do. Yes.
Well,
I look down at them.
we all promise to follow Amara's lead.
Okay.
My companions and I aren't hungry.
That's your response?
That is my response.
You have not tried. Pies are good. Fresh. They've got you pinned in. You're stopped in traffic at this particular moment.
My friends, there was a woman right back there who was desperate for pies.
That's Randy peeking his head around at
Yeah,
towering Eric.
she was sitting in the middle of the street with a stack of cages. Clearly,
We could give them the cat.
Don't you give them the cat.
Not giving them the cat.
So,
Last time-
Randy, could you roll 2 10-sided dice together?
Sure.
Dice, add them together and tell me the number.
okay. Sorry, 1 second. Yeah. All right. 8, 9, 10, 11.
Yes, rag lady. She meat for pies.
Oh,
Does she? Do you? Is your pie shop on Seville Street by any chance? So
Randy is stepping up. He is handling this situation.
no. I was just.
No.
I thought you were coming on your 4 here. This is you. This is a street urchin situation, Randy.
No.
I'm gonna try something, and I'm probably gonna surprise everyone by doing it.
Do it. Snatch that coin out of that person's hand or whatever.
No. What
That
I'm
was
gonna
Rhiannon.
do is, I'm gonna slip my hand down, rest it on the hilt of my stiletto,
Mhm.
and I'm going to say, unless you feel like matching your friend there, and I'll look at the one with the eye patch, leave.
Ooh, Threatening, yes, I like. Could you roll 2 10-sided dice for me? Add them together and tell me the number that you get.
22.
All right, so that's a 4 rolled together. The
rolled together.
goblins will take they'll do like a cautious, like, let me take a step back here. I was kind of pressing in with my, oh my god, those smell awful meat pies. But let me just give
especially
this
like
person,
elf senses.
yeah, let me just give this person who's clearly threatening me with a weapon a little bit of space, so I'm not leaning in all that much. And as that happens, the crowd will begin to move. Whatever knot was stopping people is gone, and people around you lurch into motion. Could you all roll a 20-sided die for me?
14.
18.
11.
Oh boy.
Oh,
6.
geez. Okay. So, Allie, you'll spot this first, followed an instant later by Randy. And Joel and Eric will have to notice this because you and Randy, like, Googled, your eyes went over in that direction and you're just like, what the hell? Passing within 6 feet of you, coming from the opposite direction, right? Like the knot broke up. And so somebody's can come at you sort of that way, but just sort of like passing within, like I said, like 6 feet, the coronavirus distance of coughing away from the group, and just sort of in motion are 2 figures. One, a man of about 30 winters, bears a striking resemblance to a younger version of your humble dungeon master. He and a woman that he is walking with are moving right by you with the effortless grace of a practiced swashbuckler. He has shoulder-length brown hair, blue eyes, and a neatly trimmed beard. Standing about 6 feet tall, with a thin, wiry frame clad in an all shades of black ensemble that speaks of both adventure and stealth. His attire includes night black leather pants, high leather boots, and a soft leather doublet under a black silk shirt topped with a long black mantle cloak swirling about him as he moves. A distinctive swashbuckler's leather hat, one brim rakishly turned up to support a long golden feather, adorns his head. At his hip, a rapier and long dagger are sheathed, ready for quick action. Various wands, hinting at his wizardly prowess, are strategically strapped to his waist, in his boots, at his thighs, making him appear to be ready for a confrontation. Beside him, on the opposite side of you, so he's closer than she is, walks a strikingly pretty human woman of about 20 years in age. She is of lean, athletic build, reminiscent of a dancer, with long, jet black hair pulled up into a single ponytail that accentuates her piercing ice blue eyes. Her attire is a sleek, form-fitting jet black leather armor with tight black leather bracers at her wrists and tall, laced-up boots. Hidden beneath her long black mantle cloak, the hood of which she's kept mostly up, are multiple wicked-looking daggers strapped across her body, at least a dozen in total that you can see. A single wand, like a silent promise of a hidden power, is sheathed at her waist. What's more, you catch her cloak billowing slightly, revealing a leather rig on her chest that resembles nothing more than a pistol holster, a rare and intriguing sight. Despite her swift, fluid movements, there's an undercurrent of nervousness, anxiety, and uncertainty to her that contrast sharply with the man's composed demeanor. She stands unusually close to him, as if seeking reassurance or protection from his confident presence. As they pass by, engaged in their quick, quiet conversation, it's clear to the observers that they're on a mission, their focus directed elsewhere. They spare you a quick glance in passing, but don't seem to recognize you at all, intent instead on navigating the bustling streets without interruption. If you don't act now, they will pass you by and disappear into the throng. What do you want to do, guys?
And
Amara.
Eric and I do not see them.
Oh, you do. It just
Okay.
takes you a moment to see,
Okay.
because Amara and Randy looked in that direction, just like because you look right? And
Yeah.
we're sort of like Googled back from like, what the hell? And
So
that
are,
snapped your heads around.
are we hemmed
you
in by the
all see
goblins
this.
right now? Is the issue?
No, movement is, the goblins are still
Mhm.
close to you. They're within about 10 feet, but they backed a couple steps away and people can move now, which is why they were able to just start walking right by you.
I button hook to walk immediately behind him and start whistling "Happy Birthday."
I'm just gonna look
Let's see if he
to.
I think these are people from our world, and I assume this song does not exist in the realms.
Yeah.
So I want to see if he whips his head around and be like, "Wait a minute."
All right, so that's your strategy.
Yes.
You are not coordinating with each other, so you're all probably going to try
never
different
coordinate
things.
with each other. Come on.
So
We've been
that's you,
trying.
but nobody knows that that's what you're going to do, Joel. So that's just
Right.
your plan. Got it? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. So Randy, I'm coming next to you. What are you going to do?
I will cast Phantasmal Force.
So you're just going to stop and start casting a spell?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I think so. I think that's when I like cast it to like cast an illusion of you, the real you, in front of him, pointing back at us.
Okay, so that's your ace move. So we got the chaos goblins a light here. There's 4 crazy goblins in the street, and then there's 4 more crazy goblins in the street. Okay,
Yes.
Allie, what do you have planned?
I'm noticing that. I'm gonna look back at Elric, and I'm just gonna nod towards, this version of Chris,
Playing it cool.
and then I'm gonna keep walking.
Okay, and finally, last but not least, Eric.
I'm going to address this person who I think is Chris the Grey.
How does one address this person?
And
who
what
this
I'm going to
person?
say is, "Ho, is that you, Littlefinger?"
Okay, so that will be your lead-in to this
Mhm.
situation. Okay.
Mhm.
So, speaking goes first, right? And so Eric is going to just bust out with that. Joel, does that stop your plan dead in its tracks, or are you still?
I guess if he's going first, I guess we'll see how he reacts first.
Okay, so before you start wheeling and whistling, you're just going to see how that situation plays out. Randy, still going to cast a spell?
I'll start with a guy and go, I'll see what happens with Eric's thing. And
So
if that doesn't work,
we're all going to play out how Eric's situation resolves. Allie, is there anything you want to do as a response, an immediate instinctual response to Eric's hailing
No,
of this person?
I'm gonna keep moving. I
So you're
made the nod.
You're a few feet away from the rest of the party at that point. Okay. So Eric, the moment the words leave your mouth, the world around you explodes into high gear. The person you think is Chris, right, reacts with a swiftness that defies belief. His right hand blurs to his waist. He is preternaturally fast. He's not just dexterous like Allie. He is faster than a human being has every right to be. Drawing forth a wand in a fluid motion as he begins to utter a word of power that crackles through the air. Simultaneously, his left wrist flicks with a practiced precision, and a thin-bladed, silver-plated stiletto drops from a concealed rig up his sleeve into his palm. With a casual grace, he tosses the stiletto a few feet into the air. Just an instant behind him, the woman beside him also springs into action, also moving faster than a human being has any right to move. Her eyes widen briefly in surprise, but she recovers with speed, pulling forth a chrome-plated, long-magazined, modern pistol from a hidden rig on her person. This is not a smoke powder weapon. This is a gun. Joel, could you roll a 20-sided die for me?
A 5.
Okay. Your best guess is that this is some version of a Colt 911 45 caliber weapon, and it has a long magazine, which seems to imply that it may be semi-automatic or automatic, depending upon its setting. So she may just be able to depress a trigger and have the clip empty out to whomever it is that she's aiming at.
The magazine. Okay.
Okay. Magazine.
Not the
empty.
clip. That's something
Yes,
else. Okay.
I appreciate your correction, good sir, which is why I had you roll
All
the
right.
20-sided die. Harumph. She levels that weapon at you, Eric, the tallest and most imposing of the people, and the one who opened his mouth.
Look, I'm just standing here scritching a cat. I don't know. Just.
Her expression is a mask of deadly focus. As the person who you think is Chris speaks the wand's command word, a brilliant, scintillating hemisphere of ruby red light springs into existence all around you. The sphere, about 20 feet in diameter and about 10 feet high, engulfs him, his companion, all of you, and 2 of the unfortunate goblin merchants caught close to its edge.
Yeah.
So does that even catch me?
Yes, because you're only 5 feet ahead of the rest of the group. You're near the edge of this thing, and you'll get a good look at what it does to the goblins.
This was the worst day for those goblins, man. They picked the wrong people to come and try and sell meat pies too.
Yeah, you got it. Yeah. I mean, come on. We are not the kind of people you try to harass on the street.
I mean, you miss all the shots you don't take, but I mean, seriously.
How do you sell meat pies if you're not? It's a volume business, Joel. Anyway, sorry. What happens to them is a combination of beautiful and horrifying all at the same time. One goblin, standing at the sphere's edge, screams in agony as his body is bisected by the magical barrier, instantly dissolving into a column of ash. The other goblin, whose leg was within the bounds of the sphere, falls backward as that leg disintegrates, his remaining body following suit in a cloud of ash and desperate screams. There is an eerie, shocked silence that follows that. The whole street's gone quiet. You find yourself inside this thing, cut off from the rest of the bustling street by this opaque, shimmering barrier. Can't see through it.
Right.
The silvered stiletto that he tossed into the air a moment ago, tumbling point first through it, or down towards his palm, lands with a practiced catch, point down, drawing a single drop of red blood from his fingertip. And that is where we will take our first break for the evening.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. I'm sure it's just another day in Skullport, huh? So don't go away. We'll be right back.
maybe after you've had dinner and they've headed out, and when you're wandering from place to place, feeling a bit disconnected and alone, and by the by, your friend has been pretty quiet.
Oh,
Like just
okay.
had it say in the conversation with Laryl and Clouet was a little snarky about how that whole thing turned out, if you recall, and has been pretty quiet since then. And so you're brooding, it's brooding. Funny that. Like go winky dink. So you'll be wandering, sort of your thoughts your own, when you'll notice that Tormil Gost, which is the wizard that you all rescued across the Sorgath River not too long ago, a few hours back, is clearly sort of looking for you because he's sort of wandering around. This place is new to him. It's been here less time. You're an expert compared to this guy. He's been here less time than you all have. And so you'll sort of see him coming before he spots you, but clearly he's looking for someone, and wouldn't shock you if it was you that he was looking for. To refresh your recollection, that's what we lawyers say. Tormil is, like late 20s, 30-ish. Maybe looks a couple years older than that. Sharp features, keen, piercing blue eyes, neatly kept, longish, shoulder-length black hair, dressed in finely tailored, deep sort of like jade green robes, a little bit of a blend of noble fashion and wizardly robes. Carries an ornate oaken staff, part tool, part wizard staff, and bit bookish looking, but still reasonably fit. And I think he's like 6'1" or something like that, so reasonably tall fellow. And so I guess you've got two choices. Do you want to let him find you, or do you want to take the few seconds notice you have on the fact that he's looking for you without you having spotted him to hide from him? Which
No,
of those two things?
I'll meet him halfway.
Okay, fair enough. So you'll sort of head over in his direction. Okay, when he sees that you're there and headed his way and sort of acknowledging his existence, he'll give you a little wave as you two sort of like close in on each other. And then you will find yourself in conversation with him. Milady?
I'm glad I ran into you. We mentioned traveling to Waterdeep together, and it looks like we have our own route. So I didn't want you to be like waiting around for us or anything like that.
I'm not sure I'm waiting around for you. I hadn't yet worked out a way to get out of here myself. So, and here was this one more chance I had to try to repay you the debt I owed you, and now suddenly you've managed to do that on your own. So he seems mildly crestfallen that he couldn't offer you a way out the door. But I will. I don't mean to pry over much. Is your means accessible to others who might want to return to the surface?
I'd want to check with the whole group. I mean,
certainly.
I have no problem with it. I wouldn't want to be stuck down here by mistake. I mean, it's a nice place, but
it's lovely, but it's bizarre. It's a truly alien place, and they seem like very nice people. But the sun and the city of Waterdeep is far more beautiful than even this cavern. And I've got pets to feed, so I really kind of want to get back to the surface before they start eating each other. And so,
actually, one of the group I'm with, that will tell heavily with him. So, is it pets?
I see. Is that the rather tall one, or one of the others?
The tall sword paladin wannabe.
Yes. I assumed he was a stalwart paladin. He has a very powerful looking weapon.
Yeah. Anyway, he's finds pets very important. I guess that does kind of fit with the paladin. Kind to children and animals.
Particularly of Helm, I suppose. One wants to guard and protect things.
True.
Could you roll a 20-sided die for me? Who knew you'd need those?
Yeah, I know, right? They're right here. This is the computer where I do my gaming, but they're just
All right,
not.
close
They're in
by.
their little bag.
Near at hand.
It's not 20. Where are you? 20. There we go. All right. How are you feeling today? D20. 8.
How is it? Yeah, so does that mean it's feeling good or not so good? It's hard to tell. Okay.
Well, I mean, in 2E, I can't
Yeah.
keep track of which you want to roll lower and which you want to roll high.
Combat, generally speaking, high, right?
Okay.
Non-combat situations, so like sort of skills out of a combat situation, generally low. Like if there's a general rule, that's probably it, right? And this was a non-combat situation, so generally
go.
low. You probably have been around members of the opposite sex before.
Yes.
I mean, this is just a guess here, Rhiannon, out in the world. And so you might have a sense when someone is attracted to you. He's not trying to be deliberately flirtatious, but he's just a little uncomfortable because he's trying to be cool, probably. But you know, like, have you seen this? I'm assuming you've encountered this probably before in the world.
Yeah.
So that's what a little bit the undertone of this conversation that's going on right here. And you're sort of pick up on that. And as you are thinking that to yourself,
Oh boy.
your friend who's been gone for some time is now back with a little bit of a sardonic chuckle. Well, well, well. Have you any response?
So you have something you want to push me towards in this situation?
Oh, no, I care not, beyond the fact that perhaps if he's smitten with you, there might be some usefulness to that. But I'm pride, not lust, but I do understand the basics of the courtship for mammals. So I was just making a dry observation. No retort?
No.
Okay.
Never gonna have the last word, so you might as well have the last sort of
Not word.
snarky silence. Exactly.
Yes, there you go. Okay. Sometimes those are more powerful than the words. So he's been saying a few things, and you realize for a second that you're not quite paying attention to what he was saying because you're engaged in an internal dialogue. I mean, he might have been talking about the weather, or isn't that rock crystal beautiful? I don't know, whatever it was that he was trying to say. And sort of he'll stop because you stop talking to him as well as you did stop talking to the voice in your head. And there'll be that tiny moment of awkward silence where, again, he's trying to like, okay, what is the next thing I'm supposed to say in this situation? And then he'll launch into, so I came to thank you, really your group, to thank your group, but I came to thank you because you're the fellow student of the art. And so I've always related best to people with a magical background. That's just what sets me apart from everybody else in my family. And so that's just, it's easy for me, it's easier, always has been for me to get along with people who understand wizardry, the art. And so I wanted to thank you for sort of saving my life. I mean, because that's really what you did. And so thank you. And he will put his hand out to you.
Okay, shake hands.
Yes. You will shake his hand. So when you do that, when your hand and his hand come into physical contact with each other, he will like seem like he was stunned, like he was just hit by something, right? And his eyes will open wide, like he can't focus them for a second, like something just like whacked him in the dome, and he'll drop to his knees. What do you want to do?
Well, I mean, immediately like put my hands out, but then like, okay, if touching him caused some kind of problem, that yeah. And take a second and then figure out like where to get a grip on his like arm through his sleeve.
Okay. So while you're thinking about that, standing there, looking at him, trying to figure, knock him off his feet. That wasn't what I was expecting.
That wasn't you?
Why would it be me?
I don't know.
And so he's steadying himself. He's kind of like, before you've had a chance to like put your hands back on him again, and he looks up at you, like from his knees in front of you, and he's got like awe, like holy crap, on his face. Like, so do you have something for that?
So are you all right? What just happened?
I've never I've been a user of the art since I was 10, and I've had a pretty good eye for gauging other users, and sometimes when I'm come into contact with them, I get a sense, right, of their he's standing up now, of their sort of like potential, I guess you would say. I have never in my entire life ever come. Who are you?
Well, I mean, not let's nip this in the bud. I'm a different kind of spellcaster, I think is probably what you're feeling. Like, not that I'm not flattered to be like,
what does that even mean? A different kind of spellcaster, like a bard?
well, you have to read spells and study them. Am I correct?
Yes, that's generally speaking how everyone learns magic. Well, everyone who masters the art. Well, except for natural talents.
Yeah, that.
You're a natural talent?
I mean, I think. I know it by the word sorcerer, but I think that's a word that's not yet much in use.
Sorcerer is just a way, it's sort of the older traditions, and the ones in the East, of describing that people who have sort of wizardry in their blood. There's a theory, and now he's off on a intellectual tangent, so he's
well, that's
he's
good.
feeling,
like, that's better than the worship part.
Yeah, and so there's a theory that every practitioner of the art obtains that power, their ability to connect with the weave, because the art is the weave, and the weave is the so now he's talking about what that is, and okay, you're like, okay, yeah, we got it, weave. And the ability of people to interact with it, to draw power from it, to channel it, is usually derived from their heritage. And some suggest that humans learned that power from the elves, and so that means that anyone who has the ability to use magic probably has somewhere in their bloodline elvish blood. Others would suggest that that would be creatures from other planes, demons, devils, angels, elementals. Some would say that it's dragons, all depending upon the type of magic that one comes to master. All spellcasters, no one, at least no one that I've met, learned magic in an entirely dry and dispassionate way. Usually sometime in your childhood, when you're turning from a child to the first blush of adulthood, and there are many emotions and things, and your passions are strong, magic tends to spontaneously present itself. I remember the very first time that I managed to kindle magic, and it was fire, and I almost burned down the family library, and set the cat on fire with my mind, because I was trying to light a candle and it whooshed into light, and that is the first time that I knew that I was touched by the art. But I don't. Are you telling me that the connection in your blood to that is closer, that maybe you are descended directly, and I don't mean to pry, I'm not trying to get you to tell me his brain is working, which is why he just shut up in the center of that sentence.
All right, what do you got to say?
He thinks you're a dragon in disguise. Are you, milady, He's looking around. Would a dragon fit in the room that we are presently in?
No, and I'm human. I don't know where the heritage has come from, because my family comes from a place where magic is unknown. So
He'll cock his head at that.
yeah, it's a thing.
Family is a complicated thing. I can tell you that.
Yeah. So would you say, because I presume you've had some kind of schooling and you said you met many other wizards,
Yes.
that the first
I'm a
spell
member
you
of
do...
the Watchful Order of Magician Protectors. That's the Wizards Guild in Waterdeep.
Okay. The first spell you do is often causes harm or almost some kind of accident or...
Usually one doesn't know what one's dealing with, and so frequently if one has a talent that can influence the outside world, if you can float, for example, you often find yourself hanging out over a dangerous place because you didn't know that you could step off into nothing and still be floating off the ground, and that doesn't always last forever. If you can conjure light, it might be an embarrassment if you have some talent at reading or influencing the minds of others, but it isn't always negative.
Yeah.
Why do you ask?
Mine was negative, so yay.
Well, we are of a kind then.
But the cat was okay, I hope.
Oh yes, she was a dowdy cat of at least 13 winters, and so knew how to get out of the way of fire, conjured deliberately or accidentally.
Yeah. So, I honestly don't know how much I can tell you because I'm entangled with entities that are, I guess, meddling. So having a great command of the art isn't necessarily a great thing. But I wouldn't want to entangle you.
Well,
unless you would like a quest that comes with like somebody in your head, like passing remarks all the time, and like it'll be fun.
Now he's looking troubled. Now he's looking like, is there something I should know about this situation? So if you're going to wrap him around your finger, best not to chase the boy off.
Why do you assume that I want him? Like, he's safer far from this mess.
Well, you can't pass me off to him if that's what you're thinking.
I can't. Well, also, I wouldn't do that to some innocent.
So you'll say that. Again, he's sort of like observing you because you go quiet during these periods of time, and he'll say, because he's probably assuming that that's connected to him and not necessarily what's going on there, even though you've sort of implied, but that could have been a joke. Who knows what this lady's talking about?
You know what you're getting into.
Yeah. And he'll say, I know this. I owe you my life, and so if there is something I can do to help you, even if it is just to get you to somewhere safe, give you a little bit of training, my family is not without resources, then it will be my pleasure to do so. And if nothing else, we both seem to want to be away from this place and to the city above. I was born in it, so I know it very well. And I'd be happy to show you around it and do what I can to help you and your friends in the short time and answer what questions I have. Like I said, there are 17 members of the Gost family of any real renown or any notable importance, and I am very towards the bottom of that list. But I am still a member, a full-blooded member of the Gost family, and so, as I said, I am not without my resources. I'd also be, if it helps, I'd be happy to tell you a bit about myself and my own story and see if that gives you any common ground to operate from.
I mean, yes. Uh, it- so the group of us are going to return to Waterdeep. And I don't quite know the timing of that. They had some business in Skullport. Um, and
He'll look at you like, what now? Well, they must be as powerful as you if they're willing to walk the streets of that place. I've only heard stories.
yeah, or foolish, or just very driven in what they feel is right, depending.
I understand that. I've had a bit of unexpected adventure myself, which I'll tell you a bit more about in a moment. But I understand driven, at least.
And I will say, I wondered at first, you're looking for the group, and if you wanted to talk to Allie, sorry, Mara, the elf, I was gonna say she,
Roll a
but
20-sided die, please.
yeah, it's 13.
Okay, so you'll get enough of this, but it'll take you a second to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
You'll say that, and he'll immediately come in with, "Oh no, she seems lovely, but just no, not really." He was gonna say something like "my type," but then he realized that he shouldn't say that. We're both practitioners of the art, so if anyone was going to understand me, and I was going to understand anyone, it would seem logical to me that would be the case. Amara has probably lived 3 lifetimes compared to the both of us.
Yeah, so that's good, and it all works out, right? So, but because she does draw the eye, maybe more than, well, as much as she intended. I don't know. Anyway, enough about Amara. Yeah, so they're in Skullport, but we are going to Waterdeep, and I would frankly relish the idea of not just sort of ricocheting through a city from one fight to another and one quest of the paladin to another. And
Waterdeep can be dangerous, but it doesn't need to be. It's a very safe city.
Well, that's good. It's safer than Westgate, I presume.
I've never been to Westgate, but the reputation of Westgate precedes it. So yes, it is safer than Westgate. It is a member of the Lord's Alliance, where Westgate is not. It is run by a paladin. The open lord of the city is Peregrine Paladinson. So I can assure you, a far more just and lawful place than Westgate.
I mean, so justice and the nobility and how justice is enforced by the nobility. I'm a woman of many opinions about that, but I don't plan to inflict them on this world.
He's smirking. Yeah. Trust me when I say I understand very much how nobles work. And, having been one my entire life. And I suppose this is as good a time as any to tell you a bit about that. As I mentioned, very minor branch of a reasonably minor, although don't tell anyone in my family I said that, noble family. Let's just say that we were a much more important mercantile concern several generations ago. And these days, while we hold our own, the Gosts are not one of the most important families in the city in terms of one's mercantile worth. And that, as a noble, particularly as one of the older families, that's very often extremely important, is how deeply rooted and extensive your mercantile interests are. And yes, being a noble means that I have for most of my life eaten well, been treated well, been deferred to, and lived a better life than most of the common man and woman in the city. But being a member of a noble family carries with it an awful lot, a tremendous weight of obligation. They didn't have much use for me until they discovered that I knew magic. And then it was, well, of course you're going to be educated in it. And of course the magic that you're going to learn is going to be used for the family's interests. The only way I got out even a little bit from under that was spending time with other wastrel, third and fourth daughters of families, and joining the Deep Delvers, which is the adventuring company that I'm a member of, which I was only able to get into because one of its founding members is the heir to my house, who, in a fit of boredom in his younger years, decided he wanted to go out and risk his life in the dungeons of Undermountain. And so that's how the Deep Delvers came to be. He and a few other more prominent nobles. Most today are like us, less important. But doing that, adventuring has given me sort of a measure of control over my own fate. I've got my own tall house, which admittedly the family paid for a good portion of, but my proceeds paid for some of that as well. And I've earned some of my own freedom from the family's ever-present yoke. And I've been able to see some fascinating things, go to some interesting places, meet some truly unique and interesting people, and do some meaningful things as well. With the power I've accumulated, I've been able to make changes to the world other than just as the 14th son of a noble house. And so I understand that you probably, not coming from nobility, have very strong opinions about nobility and the right of rule and that sort of thing. But we nobles do not rule the city of Waterdeep. We have a considerable amount of influence. But the hidden lords, if one of them's a noble, I'd be surprised. Most of them are of adventuring stock, really. Well, if you believe the rumors. No one really knows for sure who they are.
Well, I guess I am an adventurer myself under protest. I'm not a delving guild kind of person. But I can understand the wish to see things and and was it when you were you can tell where my mind is by what I return to. When you were learning your magic, did it continue to feel sort of uneven and like sometimes it was more than you were quite ready for, or do you feel it was smooth after that initial?
I was 10 winters old when that incident happened. I think this is something that I can probably speak on with some authority. I don't know that you've ever been a boy of that age, or
No.
for the years that follow. It's an awkward time, nobleman or not, and so I rarely felt in control of myself or of my magic because I had some natural talent that I manifested that we talked about, but a lot of the other mastery of magic came to me through study, like excruciating, mind-numbing, long hours. I also don't know if you've ever been apprenticed to a wizard.
No.
It can be a very unpleasant business. I don't know who started it all in the dark mists of time, but there's sort of a expected relationship between master and apprentice, and it's almost like hazing. It's almost like being a member of a secret noble society, where there are rituals and things you have to do to because now it's your turn to be the apprentice, and someday you will be the master and inflict these ridiculous rote memorizations and studies upon your apprentice. But noblemen or not, paid tutors or not, you still get your share of that. And so to have that power unlocked and then to have it, you have to discover the rest of it, one slogging footstep after another. And I don't know why. I don't know what Mistra in her grand design made the learning of the art like this, but danger and living a life of it much more swiftly grants you mastery over more sophisticated levels of the art than locking yourself away in a tower and just studying over dusty tomes. That part is slow. The part where you start to advance quickly is when you're using the magic in an uncontrolled situation, which almost always involves you getting stabbed by someone, which I'll tell you, don't do it if you can avoid it.
I plan not to.
Yeah. So I don't know. Did that answer your question? I want to be sure that I made an effort to do that. I feel like I'm rambling here. Am I rambling here?
I mean, no more than I was when I asked the question. Mine is such a strange situation. I was sort of looking for resonances, and there are some, but there aren't others, and since my magic is manifested, have been in nothing but danger. So,
well, again, if I can offer you, you've missed Shield Meet and the Midsummer Festivals, which really are a tremendous time in Waterdeep. In fact, we're now sort of in the immediate aftermath of that, and so people are sleeping their cups off in the city above. But I'd planned to have a more intimate gathering at my tall house of some friends, so I'm happy to invite you to that. I assure you, as long as there's no danger brought in the door, there shouldn't be any danger when you arrive. And I can try to show you some of the places and experiences in the city that are safe, in the daylight, in places surrounded by guards and that sort of thing. So you're not facing a tremendous amount of danger. This is an innately dangerous place. Little I can do.
I will take you up on that as much as I can. It may well be that my friends insist on making a whole big group of it. So you know.
Do you have a leader? Your adventuring company?
They keep sort of nominating me, but then they don't necessarily want to do what I want, and I am loath to.
That doesn't seem very logical to me.
I don't exactly want to inflict my motivations on them either. So we are a rough group of people brought together by circumstance who all have different goals. And
that sounds like every adventuring company I've ever met, read, or heard about.
Fair enough. When you came down here, there weren't more of in your group or something. Like
I got separated from the rest of them and was playing around with some finger bones in a group of chambers that looked a bit too much like a prison on the second level of Undermountain. I should have known better, but my curiosity got the better of me, and lo and behold, here I was. Will have a tale to tell my compatriots back at the Yawning Portal when we return.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like they were like cut down or something, because I was a little worried for a second there. That we were like, hey, we saved you and screw the other guys who were back there.
I managed to get myself into this bit of trouble all on my own.
Leader. Not really. Well, and they're doing their thing in Skullport right now, I guess. So, it's tough. And believe you me, I don't want the leadership position. You mentioned pets. I don't know if they're cats, but hurting them comes to mind.
2 cats, and actually several snakes. I don't know if you've noticed this. He'll point to what is now identifiable as a noble symbol. The Gost family symbol has a snake on it, a green snake.
Oh, okay.
Okay. My family, it's a thing.
Well, I can't imagine snakes hurt very easily either.
No, no, they do not. And they're a little bit trouble to feed, except insofar as sometimes cats and snakes eat the same thing.
It's true. Yeah, so I don't want the job of trying to get them to all go in the same direction, because I understand where they're all coming from. That's the trouble more than anything, is that we're friends, and so I understand why they do what they do. But I need to do something different sometimes. Sorry.
You never need to apologize. You saved my life. Am I going clear about that? You saved my life.
When you ran into me, or we ran into each other, I was thinking on similar topics. So, but well, you could come back to wait for the group to come back, and then we could ask about you using our method of transportation with us.
I don't wish to impose, and I don't wish to, if you have some relationship that you've established with someone who has the power to do that for you, I don't want to be seen to be intruding. I would state that my family has a reasonable amount of wealth, and so I can pay my own way, if that's a question.
The method is through someone who doesn't need wealth, and I don't quite understand the cost in power that they've chosen to offer. We can but ask, is my opinion. So
if they are willing, I will happily take the assistance. If they are not, I'm sure I could find a means of communicating with my allies in the city above, and then it's just a question of hiding here and waiting for rescue.
Well, they seem friendly here.
Yes, that much is true. They've been very kind to me and made it clear that I could tarry here for as long as I needed to. And like I said, I'm not entirely without resources, so I should be able to arrange a method to get myself back to the city if I have to do it on my own. I was thinking I would have to do it for you and your friends, but it turns out, as I said, that I will not have to do that.
Yeah.
It has been, I will say, Rhiannon. May I call you Rhiannon?
Yeah.
You introduced yourself to him as Rhiannon before, because otherwise he doesn't know that. It has been a pleasure chatting with you. I came out here to find you to extend my thanks, but I'm happy that we had this conversation, and I feel like I've gotten to know you a little, and I like that. So I hope you feel the same way.
Yeah. Thanks. So to ruin a nice moment.
It was I maybe I don't understand mammalian courting rituals. Was that a positive or a negative outcome?
Positive in that people who go too quickly through the steps are not to be trusted. So the speed is to the good.
I'm pride, not lust. So are you gonna chuckle out loud at the conclusion of your awkward? I'm laughing. Were we supposed to be laughing?
I mean, maybe I should scare him off now before. No, I think I'm gonna try not to laugh out loud. But say.
So go ahead. You were saying to him. He was just saying it's been a pleasure, and I really enjoyed this, and I feel like I've gotten to know you, and anyway, go ahead.
And I'll say I look forward to seeing you later, and then kind of very clearly as a sort of teasing joke, I will put out my hand to shake again and be like, "Is it going to happen again?"
He'll reflexively go to do that, and he'll take your hand, right?
Okay.
This
time, no knees this time. Okay.
No, and he'll see him. He looks like he put his breath in. Right? Like, okay, getting ready for this. Really would be awkward if I peed myself right now. That would definitely be in the not cool category. And so then, woo, no problems with that one. Woo. Okay. So he will nod his hand and say, I look forward to our next meeting. Okay. And there he goes, scampering off across the night or day or whatever time it is.
Yeah.
All right. So, anything other than that, or any pithy commentary, or are you more or less done with your? You're just gonna continue to wander, waiting for your friend's return.
Well, if the DM still has time.
The DM always has time. I always have time for you, Rhiannon.
So I think in the wandering, I'm gonna sort of make an opening bid. So as I wander, I'm gonna say, so we need to think about how I'm gonna get home.
Always back to this.
Are you surprised? Because you seem to love to tout your knowledge of me. So perhaps you could have anticipated this.
Maybe this is a situation where either I don't know you half as well as I think I do, or you don't know yourself half as well as you think you do.
So the trouble with that is I have yet to see evidence to the contrary.
Fair enough.
So you could cough some of that up.
It'll chuckle. It's clear that your sisterly friends aren't either willing or able to assist you in your request. They danced around that like a Elistraean drow dancing around a statue of herself set in the middle of her own temple. It seems to find that funny.
I mean, so do I. It's got me there.
Yeah. So, there are a few commonalities. And unless I miss my guess, they put a fair amount of effort into attempting to keep the lot of you from communicating with whoever this Chris the Grey person is.
That's interesting.
He's from your world?
Yes.
Well, and he's a wizard.
Yes. Well, yes, I think so.
Of some power? Who has some sort of personal relationship with one of those two sisters, yes?
It seemed so.
Then I can't imagine someone like that might not have asked a question very similar to the one that you're asking now. Why, even if that person didn't want to go home right away, that's the sort of person who might want to know how they could if they needed to. Does that seem logical to you?
Yes.
Well, then, to me, the most reasonable thing to do is to find that person.
I'm not actually sitting down, so like the positional stuff is not quite correct, but definitely the sort of like straightening and interest. All right. I'll accept that.
Well, if we're operating on the same page, then I think we both agree you need to get out of here. For your own good, for the good of the babes, and perhaps even for the good of this place.
We're going to Waterdeep. You have some kind of opinion about that?
Exactly. No, I actually think that's a good idea. What's more, your what's the phrase? Puppy dog just gave us a bit of interesting information. I think he said he was a member of the Watchful Order of Magicians and Protectors. Is that what he said?
I think so.
The Waterhavian Wizards Guild. Okay. If this Chris the Grey is a powerful wizard, resides in the city of Waterdeep, at least some of the time, I bet someone like that would be a joiner of a guild of that type.
I don't know if I'd call him a joiner, but you also make a good point. I mean, so there's joiners, and then there's people who like to make it very clear that they're not joining. And everybody knows about them because they had to make it so clear to everybody that they're not joining and why they're not joining.
So
And either way gets us where we want to go.
Exactly. The key part of that sentence being everybody needs to know about them. So if you needed to get a message to someone like that, and someone who you directly asked to do that refused to assist you, well, then I suppose you'd start at a place where that person might be well known. And I bet, and again, we're just following my logic here, that there are some things that you or your friends could conceivably communicate in such a message that would draw the attention of someone from the world you are from immediately. And you say I never give you anything.
I mean, I have, but I will accept this. We can work with this for now.
Gracious. So does that give you something else to chew on while wandering around?
That it does.
Excellent. All right. So we will integrate this into the rest of our adventure for the evening, but it has been a pleasure, Rhiannon, engaging in this with you now. And I will see you soon enough.
And we are back from our discussion in the promenade to the streets of Skullport, where we've had an unexpected encounter with who we assume to be Chris the Grey of the Realms. You were looking for him. It appears as though you might have unexpectedly found him. And out on the streets of Skullport, you took an unusual approach to encountering him and hailing him, I guess. And that resulted in an explosion of violence and a rather paranoid reaction from the particular gentleman and his companion. You have a moment. Really, that's what you think you've got here. You've got a moment before the situation, which started bad, degenerates into worse. So has someone got something that they want to do or say to hopefully de-escalate this situation? You don't know why he just decided to spill blood. It can't be good.
Okay.
Dungeons and Dragons, Connecticut.
I'm just
words.
like this far away from the barrier. And I'm just like taking a deep breath. I have the moonlight in the darkness. Moonlight in the darkness. Like I'm like. Really?
I hold up the cat. I'm like, I have a cat.
I'll look up at the red dome and go, red sky at night. Sky at night.
Do you know me, sir?
Okay. So once again,
did I kill your favorite character?
kind of character is me. Okay, so we're all over the map again with this situation. Allie's just, who's Zen? I'm just gonna Zen my way through
Got my
situation.
serenity prayer going on, so I don't try to murder somebody.
Randy has broken into song. Let's get some 80s tunes in here. That'll de-escalate this situation. Joel is just blurting out words like Connecticut, Dungeons and Dragons. And Eric is saying, I have this cat. Do you know me, sir?
Well, okay. You see, here's the thinking. Sometimes when people are very, very high strung and like in the fighting tone of mind, if you do something totally unexpected and innocuous, it can break them out of it. So that's what I'm doing.
Really expects that. Okay. So somehow between the Connecticut Dungeons and Dragons and the cat, the bizarre cat response, you've stayed his hand on an immediate basis. But he says the following. Give me one good reason why I shouldn't vaporize you all right now.
It would be a waste of a spell slot.
I will audibly groan.
Anybody want to jump in on that Eric thing, or are we happy with it's a waste of a spell slot?
I'll turn around because we know you, or a version of you.
Okay, so you'll say that.
Yes.
Joel or Randy, anything, or just gonna let's see this play out?
We are from Earth, and we are players in your game.
Okay. Randy, anything?
Let's just
Play on the table.
Night.
Because, you might need the inspiration or something like that.
No, yeah.
So, Allie, whatever people just said there, the person in question seems to have latched first onto what you said, right? You blurt out your comment a moment later, Joel, and his eyes will turn to you. The woman with the gun is just still pointing it straight at you, Eric. Just steady straight at
That's
Eric.
fair.
What, are you
Get
going
the
to
cat
shoot
in
the
the-
cat,
get the
lady?
cat in the
What
path.
is
Yeah,
going on?
You'll say that. She'll move the gun downward.
Oh, okay. That was, I walked right into that one.
Okay. And Chris will spit out, if you really know me, you surely should have known better than to startle me out in the open on the streets of Skullport. Your presence right here, right now, stinks of a trap. Players
Really,
in my game at home.
we're not here for you. Truth
Well,
be told.
But okay.
Wow.
But this does sound like the
Oh,
kind of
Rick.
situation that
Stunned him. You have stunned
sir,
him
this
with
does
that
sound
one.
like exactly the sort of situation that you would set up if you were DMing.
Come on, Chris.
Hmm?
Obviously, you would have yourself do something like that. There is no way you are not in complete control of this situation.
He'll turn to you, Eric, and say, let's say I want to believe you. We don't have time for this. We have maybe 10 minutes before the skulls show up after this little scene. You can hear now voices back on the street beyond the opaque sphere. It's obviously not stopping sound from going through it. And whatever startlement the people in that square had, it seems to be wearing off, and now it's more provoked to curiosity or alarm. There is one way, and only one way, that I trust that a word that any of you say. Do you know anything at all about the realms?
Yes.
Oh boy.
People who are native to the realms would know more about the
I
realms
was
than
gonna say,
we do.
that's
But yes, of course we
gray
do.
box.
We also have this, and I'm going to fluoresce the mark.
Oh, your mark is concealed underneath your armor. You want it to like
Oh, it is?
blaze through so that, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. You'll see his eyes snap to that. Well, that's slight progress anyway. He'll look at the woman without her looking at him, as if to imply she does not. Are you familiar with the spell that War Wizards of Cormare use to mentally interrogate potential threats to the realm?
Oh my god, of course it's going to be something like this. Yes.
Why don't you ask questions about our world?
Good. He's just tromping right over your whatchamabobs.
Okay.
I look
Because
at the lady with the gun. I'm like, is he always this exhausting, even in this world too?
She'll smile, like a little fragile smile at that.
Yeah.
Like maybe she understands what's going on here, but that gun's still pointed at your midsection, not at the cat. I mean, it is not pointed at the cat.
Extended magazine Colt 911.
You're gonna just call that out?
Yeah, just
Well, it seems as though you both know your stuff. Good, because I'm about to use it on you, pointing at you with the wand. And if
Pointing
you
at
want me to
me
believe,
with the wand?
yeah, pointing at you at the wand. If you want me to believe or even think about trusting you,
Well, you're going to disintegrate me if I don't. So yeah, let's go. Get in there, buddy.
Practical response. I may find a use for you yet. On your knees in front of me, giant. I'm not climbing up there. And he is tucking the wand away and sucking the blood that he just drew from his own fingertip in his mouth.
Okay, I'm going to hand the cat to the gun lady.
Give
The
them the
gun,
cat.
the gun lady is Weaver gripping the gun.
Look, give me the cat. Give me the
Hold
cat.
on. Let me do this, okay? I extend the cat to the gun lady. I say, we
Okay.
both know he's not going to take it.
She will flick her gaze over in my direction And I will flick my gaze back over with a raised eyebrow at her, and she'll just turn back around at you and point the gun.
Look,
Put your
I
cat
don't
on
want
the
to
ground.
collapse. I don't want to collapse and drop the cat. I paid 4 gold for this cat.
Put your
Elric?
cat on the ground.
All right. Hey, buddy, go hang out with your Aunt Amara over there.
All right.
Please don't run into the sphere.
Randy's got a cat, like a real cat.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Right here,
I'm gonna stoop down and I'll scoop up the cat once it's on the
Okay.
ground, and I'll just kind of cradle the cat.
So now you have a scaredy cat in your hands at this particular moment. You are now closer to Eric, so further away from the edge of the barrier.
You know,
Right.
I have always wondered what you would be like if you had ultimate power, Chris. All right, let's get this over with.
Enough with your prattle.
Is it everything
Um,
you dreamed of, Elric?
In my nightmares.
Are you? I love the back and forth.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
sit
going to
down.
Are you going to get on your knees in front of him as he requests?
No, I'm going to sit down.
Okay. He will just shake his head and walk over towards you.
Hmm.
He's taking his hands as though he's going to place them on either side of your head. You going to move to stop him?
No.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing while this is going down? The woman is pointing the gun. She's moved it away from Eric because Chris is standing right next to Eric, and she's pointing it at you, Ellie. I think that means she thinks you're the second
It's
most
the
dangerous
cat.
person in the group.
Quit tracking the cat with the gun. That's not cool.
I just kind of waggle my fingers and smile.
Okay. She'll give you a fierce grin back. What are the other two of you going to do while this plays out on the ground in the alleyway or in the street?
Hold
Whoa,
very still.
Just continue you'll look around.
Look,
No
I'm sorry.
Jamal.
We have a
No
bard.
Jamal, Randy. Jamal's just gone.
Jamal's
You'll
the
say, "I am
smart one.
sorry."
Is this the time?
We have
Yeah,
a bard.
Jamal. This is not the time when Jamal can step in. I mean,
Well, the prismatic cage is probably keeping her out too. So, and
Who
she's smart
knows?
enough not to. Yeah.
Who knows what's going on? So he places one hand on either side of your head, Eric. This spell can be unpleasant, but it's infinitely more so if you attempt to resist it. So
Oh, I
don't.
know.
It and I will only harm you if you do.
I've
You
read
best
Ed's
clo-
books too. Let's go.
Excellent. So then you know you best close your eyes because it can be at the best mildly disorienting. So you'll do just that.
Yeah.
He'll place his hands palms flat on your face. There's a little bit of sweat on his palms, so he's anxious about what's going on in this situation. Something you said or did has made him at least a little nervous. He'll incline when Eric closes his eyes, his head towards the woman. He's talking sort of mostly to you, Amara, but also to the other two members of the group so that you understand what's being said here. This is Dove. She's had a rough few days, and they're only going to get rougher. So she's understandably jumpy. Don't give her a cause to be anxious. Turning his gaze to her, he says, "Little Dove, if they so much as twitch funny, ventilate them." And then she nods her head in response. He turns back to Eric, smiles, and says, "You're a handsome devil. What's your name?" And begins casting the spell.
I'm just chuckling at her being the jumpy one. Jesus.
still keeping my hands visible. I'm like, Dove, what year do you think it is?
Okay, so now you're trying to engage her in conversation.
Right. Just
She will
rough couple of
move
days.
the gun. She will move the gun to you, and she will say, "Shh, don't try to confuse me. We wait for Chris to talk. You tell him your lies." She looks nervous.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying your Chris looks significantly younger than our Chris. So he said
John?
you've only been here a couple of days.
Oh, do you want to shut up, or do you want to continue?
I don't know. I think I may keep talking actually, but
Okay. Well, let's go there in just a second.
Yeah.
So, Eric, you've read Ed's books too.
Mm-hmm.
This spell, you go into the mind, the caster goes into the mind of the person who is the recipient of the spell. I will start by asking you, do you want to, in any way, shape, or form, resist this
Nah.
spell? Okay. You will feel as the spell begins to take hold and you feel a foreign presence push itself against your mind as though it was about to enter it, a surge at your chest, which tells you unconsciously or subconsciously, I can expend energy now to stop this if you want me to. Like, it's not saying that to you, but you know that that's what that tingle is informing you of. Do you want to do that or not?
Nah. No.
Then that foreign consciousness will plunge into your own mind. This spell has been reliably described to me as kind of like the caster sits inside a submersible, like a submarine, as they go into the mind of the recipient. And they sort of direct where they want to go by asking sort of questions that are designed to get the recipient to think about certain things. It's not really easy without resisting this spell to fool this spell. You're not going to be in the shonies here. You are going to show the caster more or less the truth of what the caster is trying to divine by being in your head. You get to kind of be a ride along, right? You're outside the sub, so the caster's consciousness is sealed off from you, but you can kind of get a little bit of reciprocal information in reverse when you're a willing participant, which gives you a little bit of a sense of how the caster is reacting to what the caster is seeing, right?
Can I converse with the caster?
No.
Oh,
You
okay.
are just, you're along for the ride.
I was going to apologize that my mind palace looks like the X-Men 92 psychic expanses that Professor X would constantly fight psychic enemies in. That's what it looks like. And that's immediately what it would remind him of. So,
all right, there you go. All right.
I'm sorry, it was a formative show.
Hey, it's entirely reasonable.
is.
Everybody's mind palace is a little bit different. So once he's in your head, he just starts peppering you with questions to get you to think about things. His first question is, what gods marked you? This elicits you all and memories that you have of everybody with your marks aglow and some of the interactions you've had where power has been discharged, along with your conversations, Eric, with Helm and the deceased king of Westgate. Chris reacts only by seeming surprised when he sees the mark of Asmodeus among the marks that the five of you have.
Does he also see how uncomfortable I am with that whole thing?
We'll get there.
Okay.
The second question is, do any of you serve Shar in any way? You have no memories of anything like this. The only time Shar's ever come up is in a brief conversation with Joel recently. And so Chris seems pleased that you have the absence of memories connected to Shar.
Yeah, as far as we know, we don't.
The third question is, do any of you serve Asmodeus? Here, Eric, your doubts about the sources of both Rhiannon's and Allie's powers are sort of shown for Chris on display, even though you're kind of sort of denying some of that to yourself, right?
Well,
Rhiannon's,
let me say one thing about this, and you
Please
can
go
interpret it
ahead.
however you want.
Yep.
Rhiannon is incredibly stubborn, and that's I mean that as a compliment.
Mhm.
Like, she is very self-directed and has a lot of agency, and I know that the voice is trying to manipulate her and turn her into a servant of Asmodeus, but I don't necessarily consider her a servant of Asmodeus.
It's
The
funny
whole
because
thing, the whole
it's
thing
funny
about
because it's funny because the next thing that he sees is the speech she just gave.
Mhm.
So it's very clear that I'm vibing on you, Eric. I have a sense of
Okay.
what you would be thinking in this situation, which is this is if anybody's serving anybody, it is not willingly, and it is under distinct protest that anyone's trucking around with devils. Go ahead.
He would probably also see that I consider that whole, maybe our marks are linked to some kind of sin, and maybe Allie is the sin of envy or lust.
Mhm.
That I consider that whole thing nonsense. And I think of that as contemptuous. Like, I would never do that. That's so dumb.
Ridiculous. Okay.
So,
So we're getting meta. We're meta. We're engaged
I'm
in
just
meta
saying.
commentary.
I'm
Okay.
not saying that
You
it's
want to do
not the case. I'm saying that, in my opinion, it makes no sense at all.
All right. You'll see that he will just take that scene in without any comment or reaction whatsoever. Flat affect, right?
Okay.
The fourth question,
Like a lawyer's poker face is what you're saying?
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah.
fourth question is, when are you from? And that will elicit memories of your life in the fall of 2023. He seems surprised at that fact.
Yes, the
22,
internet's a
isn't it?
lot better these days.
2022, wasn't it?
Oh, was it 22 when
I
we
think
started this?
so. Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
it's
I
been a
think
year and a
so.
half.
Of 2022.
I mean,
will
he
be
would
even more
probably
surprised by
he
the-
would probably also see a lot of stuff about this pandemic that happened, and how we're all
All
playing
kinds
on
of
our
things.
computers, and how I, hung out with you at Gen Con. And like, most of my memories of you at Gen Con are you telling me about this game that you read.
It is funny again, Eric. I need to get out of your head in more ways than one.
Yep.
So the next question is, how do you know me? And that plays you meeting me in various past scenes from Gen Cons long ago, through the dinner where you agreed to play this game, and to the point where the first session started up online.
We were a little drunk at the time.
It also contains images of other Chris and Emily, the people that you've been thinking about. And it's clear that Chris the DM is the DM for this group. So whatever Joel was saying seems to be confirmed in this image. Scenes of the players debating, seeking out Chris for answers, led by you, also play here. Chris
I was always 100% behind the let's find Chris.
Chris seems
I'm
wryly
questioning that decision.
amused.
I am too.
Chris seems wryly amused by this sort of line of whatever. The next question, how did you arrive in the realms, and how long ago? This shows your arrival scene, and just a few days have passed since then. Scenes of you debating how you got here and how to get home surface. Chris seems both satisfied with the answer and intrigued with the knowledge. The next question, who do you all serve, and who are your allies? This shows you, Eric, with Helm and Gedrin, the players talking with Jamal when she was still alive, your interaction with Finder in the final scene at Briar House, and your conversation with the two chosen at the promenade. Chris seems annoyed when he sees that the players have interacted with Laryl at the promenade.
Does he get that I mentioned that I'm wary about getting too in deep with those people?
Yes.
Okay.
His immediate response to that scene is, what did she, and he clearly means Laryl, tell you about me? This shows to him that she actually did her best to deflect the players from seeking him out, particularly at the moment, without really exactly saying why. And that seems to mollify him. Like, he was angry, and now he's like, oh, okay, fine. Sort of like, I'll accept that piece of information. And then finally, why are you in Skullport right now? Here, Allie's prior interactions with Ilra, including awkward encounter, Eric, that you had facing the wall,
Yep.
start to
Like
play.
pieces of clothing come flying over my shoulder.
You're frantically writing on your skin. Yeah.
As does Allie's speech to the other players about leading this mission to the Dark Dancer in search of Ilra. The Chris seems surprised and then wryly amused by this. And
Only
then,
you would think of this, Chris.
and then his presence in your mind is just gone. That took about 3 minutes back in the real world. So the question is, what happened in those 3 minutes? We chewed about 30 seconds of them up with the back of the shut up, and Randy, continuing to do whatever. Allie, you got anything left for that 2.5, or do you just want to let this situation play out?
You muted.
I'm gonna let.
Allie.
I know.
Oh.
I got it. I'm gonna let it play out.
Okay, Randy, do you just want to
Heading.
complete your song because it'll take you about
Petting
that
the
long
cat.
to get through Red Skies at Night?
You said there were a couple of goblins who got trapped on this side of the shield with us, right?
Oh no, there were a couple of
No,
goblins that got trapped
no.
on the opposite side of the shield with you.
Oh, okay.
And there were a couple of goblins that were in it, and they ain't goblins no more.
They
Right,
were
okay.
like partly in the radius, and
Yeah, I thought there
Yeah,
was
they
like a
got-
couple that were on
no,
each
they got-
side of it, though. Okay,
They are the artists formerly known as goblins at this point in
Right.
time.
then I
Chris,
will.
yeah.
I'll continue to
Dust in
sing
the
because
wind.
it's hard to like. Yeah,
Yeah, you got to
Who's gonna-
finish it. Once you start it, you got to finish it.
yeah.
So Randy,
And-
you will complete your song.
Yeah, and no one's gonna start
just-
fighting while there's a song
I
going
just
on.
love
right?
the image of Randy awkwardly continuing to sing this song to completion while
Yeah.
we're having
Whoa,
a gun
whoa,
trained
whoa, whoa,
on us.
You know, I'll
Yeah.
I'll harmonize. Hands still immune.
I'm
every
not
time-
doing
well,
any of that.
And like every
No.
time like someone makes like a move like this, I sing a little, stronger. And like, no,
If-
just
keep-
chill. We're just having
I
fun
keep
here.
If there
petting the
was
cat.
wind, they would be blowing in them, Eric. Okay.
Yeah.
So Joel, you have chosen not to poke the anxious girl with the gun.
No, not anymore.
Okay. So you will just you will harmonize with Randy, and the two
Can I
of
see
you
if
will
this-
see.
Can I see if her finger is on the trigger, if the safety's on?
Her finger is on the trigger, the safety is off.
All right.
She is
well, I will-
anxious, nervous,
I will
ready
just
to fire.
I will
She
just
means
sing along with
business.
I
Roll
will
a
sing along with
20-sided
Randy
die.
then. Just like
Roll
boy.
a 20-sided dice.
I look visibly
5.
perturbed, but I'm just
The weapon
I'll just keep petting the cat.
The weapon is set to select fire,
Cool.
so it is not on full automatic.
Okay. That's something,
Okay.
but
She's going to
yeah.
take, aim shots as opposed to just dumping the
I'm going-
magazine straight at you.
you know this is some PC shenanigans right here.
Oh, yeah. PC shenanigans. Okay. So all of a sudden, the thing that happens completes. Chris opens his eyes, steps away from Eric, who sways in place for a second. That spell is instant migraine city. And it definitely takes a lot out of both the caster and the recipient.
It's funny because you could have asked what happens in Shadowbane 4, but no.
Chris will look over the rest of the group
Priorities.
and say, intriguing. Well, you get to live. Congratulations. And the woman lowers the gun, slips on the safety, and puts it back in the rig at her side.
Were
You
you
have-
expecting trouble? I ask.
It's
I mean, it is
Skullport,
Skullport.
Elric.
Well, all right,
Elric.
fine. But is there somebody hunting you or something?
You know what probably really blows Chris's mind is that people play D&D on the internet now.
What is this D&D on the internet? Takes a deep breath, lets it out. You have questions and I have answers, but neither of us has the time to deal with that right now. I have associates. This is a response to your question, Eric, about why he was so nervous, whose foolishness has landed them in urgent, deadly peril.
Oh,
and
that sounds like them.
they need me to come to their rescue from it. If I live through that, I'll happily chat with you further and clear up some mysteries for you all, but not here, gesturing around. He leans in close enough, Eric, to you to be able to whisper so his voice is not carrying through the street around him. Allie, do you want to attempt to overhear that?
Yes.
All right, please roll. Randy, do you want to attempt to overhear that?
I'm singing, so probably it's not practical.
All right.
I rolled. Where's my percentages? Where are you? Okay.
What did you roll?
22.
You've got this. I'm pretty sure your hear noise is much better than that.
Yeah, my detect
Okay.
my detect noise is
Detect
40%.
noise, sorry.
So
There you go. So you've got this. So you will both hear this clearly enough. Okay. I'm not expecting you to write this down, but later. Seek Draunce Velvrith, captain of Glatha's Gauntlet in Hidden Hale. Get there by heading north from the city, speaking with the priests at the shrine of Sylvanus along the high road, offering them a tidy sum, and asking to walk wild. The rest you can figure out for yourselves. When you get to the rock, meet me 2 days from now in the common room of the Laughing Beholder Tavern. Tarry long enough that day, and I'll be along. If I don't show up, I'm dead, or worse. But I don't plan to be, so as long as you don't get yourselves killed on this errand, I'll meet you there. Oh, and tell no one. And I mean no one. Yes, that includes her, that you are meeting me there. Are we clear?
You know, it would be so much easier if you just used a sending spell. Look how powerful you are.
You'll get a narrowed, annoyed look. Have you ever seen one of my narrowed, annoyed
Oh,
looks?
yeah, of course.
I think even I'm gonna roll my eyes.
This guy's giving you the earlier version of the narrowed, annoyed look. It's even more narrowed and annoyed. Try not to get yourself.
Was it existentially dread producing to see yourself age throughout the years?
Now you're getting a really annoyed look.
All right, I'll be there.
Silence
Shut
you.
up.
And try not to get yourself killed. Now we're back to talking out loud.
Okay.
What level are you all? Best guess.
Third?
Fourth.
Third
sounds,
and fourth.
That sounds about right.
And you're out and about in Skullport?
We didn't have much choice.
Idea. Oh, we
Precious.
Anyway.
Precious.
Look,
Well, you don't lack for ambition. I'll give you that much.
Who blew a high-level spell on us because I used a Game of Thrones reference. Oh, sorry. Song of Ice and Fire reference.
You don't irritate wizards on the street in dangerous places, Eric.
I thought it would be a compliment.
See you in 2 days if you survive this folly. Best you get gone from here quickly before the skulls arrive or some clever fellow takes down this sphere. It will hurt on your way out. But if you have potions close at hand, you should survive it well enough. He's moving over towards the woman.
Are you going to leave us in this sphere?
We'll drop the sphere and we'll get out of here.
He'll chuckle, look skyward, and speak a word of magic. The softly glowing outline of a mystical doorway appears behind him, and as he falls through it, her in tow, he says, 100 feet, straight up. The two of them fall back through it and disappear, as does the doorway a heartbeat later. You're alone on the street inside this globe.
I'm gonna hand Elric back
Bryce,
the
what an
kitten.
asshole. Okay.
No, you know what? I'm not gonna hand Elric back the kitten. I'm gonna hold on to the kitten. I'm gonna look at Elric and go, "Your friend's a dick." And then
He
I'm going,
really is.
Can I carry the cat with me when I shed it?
Can you? You should be able to. You carry Gedrin.
That's true. That's true. So I'm gonna hold the cat, and then I'm gonna try to shadow dance outside of the barrier.
Okay. Do you want to alert anyone to this reality before you do it? Or you just screw it?
No,
do
I'm
it
just gonna
post.
do it. I say the words like I said, Guinevere Sahan, and I just.
There you go. Are you visualizing a specific destination, or are you stating a distance and direction?
I'm visualizing the spot that was kind of like a little further down the street from here, like out, that I know to be out of the range of the barrier.
Since you can't see it, roll a 20-sided die. Don't roll a 20.
Okay. 17.
Oof. Okay. You will appear at that location precariously close to a solid object. But great news, you did not materialize inside of it. You are out, baby. And the cat, which is shivering in your arms because it's awfully cold when you pass through that thing, will
It's
up
okay.
at you.
It's okay. And I'll scratch its head and I wasn't gonna
So
take the
that's-
cat through that thing. It would probably kill the cat.
So that's 3 people trapped inside this thing.
Was he saying we should walk through this? I mean, it disintegrated goblins. I mean,
Is
that
it-
does not sound like, you know.
I
Like,
think he's
is it-
bluffing.
Is it like a protection against evil kind of thing, where it disintegrated them because they're evil, or is it just because they were low hit
Oh
points?
no, it will hit us with multiple effects.
This is
Jamal will
prismatic
reappear
sphere,
from
right?
among you. Who in the 9 hells was that? That's
Now
to you,
that's
Randy.
my.
Randy.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
no, he's not. He doesn't know you.
Apparently not.
Yeah,
I
think of
thought
him as the evil universe twin version of your friend.
See, I kind of thought we met before, but maybe not. But we met like 2 days ago in
You
another
met-
world that he apparently
met-
doesn't remember.
You
So
met Chris the Gray in 2010. That's when you met, or maybe 2000. I apologize, 2011. That's the very first time you met me in the world.
mhm.
I don't know what information you have about when I came here.
I thought it was
That's why I
after,
was-
but maybe not. So
That's why I was trying
you
to
know,
find out from what's her name, what her
She
Dove.
thought year it was. Yep.
Yeah,
it was worth a shot.
She's not the sort who was going to be able to really answer that
not
question.
worth getting ventilated over though.
Yeah, it's not. So, Randy, what is your response to who in the 9 hells was that?
Who said that? Sorry, who said
Jamal, who just
Oh.
appeared inside
Oh,
your
oh.
sphere. Who in the 9 hells?
That was I guess you could call him kind of an avatar of the power that possibly sent us here, or at least is connected with this entire adventure that we are on.
Well, I'm glad I disappeared then. How are you supposed to get out of this?
Painfully, apparently.
Well, it's red. What does red mean?
Red means bad usually.
Gust of wind, if I
Or
recall correctly.
Cherry.
Like fire?
I don't
Does
want to
red
lick
mean
it and see if
fire?
it's cherry. I suspect it's
Oh,
probably
okay.
bad.
I've seen Mintassin cast something like this, but it was all kinds of colors. This one's just one.
Oh shoot. What's the
It's down to
Eric?
just being red. I assumed it was still rainbow.
It never was. It was only ever
okay?
a brilliant red.
I'm
Jeez.
pretty sure Gust of Wind is the spell that gets rid of the first layer, the red layer. But none of us can cast that.
Randy,
think.
can Jamal cast spells?
Ooh.
Hey, Jamal, can you cast spells?
I don't know. I haven't tried to cast spells. What spell would you want me to cast?
Apparently, Gust of Wind.
I mean, it's
Unless
a spell I used to know.
or a banishing,
could-
like banishing magic kind of thing to banish the sphere in general. But if not, then
if this is what I think it is, then that's not going to work on this thing. Just
Okay.
dispelling it isn't going to do it. I mean, I used to know Gust of Wind, so I mean, I could try it. I don't know if that's going to draw away
You're
some
right.
portion of my essence, though.
No, there are
Oh.
specific spells for specific colors.
Yeah,
Right.
there are.
And I think Gust of Wind is for the orange one.
Okay, I may be
Yeah.
remembering wrong.
Yeah,
Does Jamal
don't
know
wanna-
any you know what?
I don't want to have her drain her essence.
It's right. It's fine.
on a
It's fine.
gamble.
Okay. So I have been neglecting my mark for some time since it has been somewhat restored. Okay.
Yes.
What can I do with my mark at the moment?
I don't know.
Can
What
I
can you do
can
with
I
your mark
cast
at
a
the moment?
spell from it?
You've never tried to, but you did summon Vindicator with it once, so who knows what these things can do?
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's
Hmm.
usually there's like a silver sphere of protection that would shoot out when I've tried it or something like that. So maybe that would
Mhm.
like
That's been Randy's
counter that
default
or-
defense.
And I forget,
shred
does it
that
move
if-
with? It doesn't move with you when we
No, it
move,
doesn't.
does it?
No.
Doesn't?
Oh no, it
Hmm.
doesn't.
Stationary.
Because if you remember, when it popped up around me, but to deflect that lightning bolt, it just stayed there when I moved.
Correct. All right. Well, while you're thinking this amongst yourselves, Allie, could you roll 20-sided die for me?
4.
Oh shit, son. Something's coming from down the street. You anticipate you have 3 rounds before it arrives. It's flying in the air and it's about the size of a basketball. Oh,
You know
golly.
what?
I'll say, through, I guess I don't know how close I am.
Oh, you're right. Oh, yeah. You tried to get to a spot.
I
We'll say
vamped.
you're within 50 feet. So you could
Okay.
very easily, in the time that they were arguing amongst yourselves, move close enough to be. People have moved away. The street scene, about 20-foot radius around this thing, like sort of like from building to building, right,
Mhm.
is empty. Nobody wants to get too close to it, but it's packed all around with people watching the show. What is
Yeah.
that? What's going to happen? When are the skulls going to get here? What cool stuff's going to happen next?
I'll
So
move.
getting up close to it's easy peasy.
Yeah, I'll move quick, and I'll just say, if you're gonna get out of there fast, skulls. And then I'm going to try to like blink into the shadows and
Yeah.
You
Says
could
the
have taken
woman
one
who
of us instead of a
abandoned
cat.
us. It's fine.
You
You know
could have
what?
hopped in twice and you got 3 jumps.
He said it would be painful. I just run through the wall. Let's just do this.
Okay. So a couple things here. So Allie, you're just going to sort of personally step into shadows, not use magic to do it. Yes.
yeah, I'm just hiding in shadows at this point.
So you'll sort of hide yourself in the crowd and pick a spot to observe the fun without looking like you're
Yeah.
part of this. Okay. You don't need to roll. Easy enough to do to blend into the
Okay.
crowd of eager onlookers. Eric, you guys are all debating, and Eric's like, he said it was going to hurt. Let's do this. And Eric will roll forward into the red sphere.
I just dive through.
Okay, so saving throw versus spells, please.
I got an 18.
All right, delightful news. 10 points of damage.
All right, that's not so bad.
So this is as the kids say, good news, bad news situation. Good news is you took 10 points of damage. You're about to get some of that healed. Bad news is you're about to get some of that healed, and so you're not going to have that trick to play later. Please roll 4d4.
You're gonna make me get out all those D4s, aren't you?
Do
It's
it.
fine.
Do
fine.
it.
It's fine. Mhm.
It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
This is fine.
Little burning cat, not the one you saved.
Okay, that is 8.
Okay, so you are now only down 2 hit points from your
Hey,
maximum
that's
total.
not so bad.
So you'll pass through that. Ouch! That hurt.
Yeah,
but
that
then
did
you'll
hurt.
feel the immediate rush of healing magic pump into you from that thing, and it will staunch the worst of the bleeding, so to speak, putting
Okay.
you down only 2 from maximum.
Great.
Hey, Eric lived through that.
I made it. I dropped another die on the floor. Anyway.
Oh, those are caltrops. Look out. for
Yeah,
them.
no, I don't think
So
it was a
Joel and
D4.
Randy, 2 people left inside the sphere now.
We don't have any other. I don't want to wait for the skulls, so I guess we're going, or I'm going.
Yeah, and I mean, it's okay. I'm the
Unless you've got an
squishy
idea.
one here, so it's not going to go well for me, but I will give it a go.
You have at least 20 hit points.
I have 15 hit points.
Oh, good.
Oh no!
Oh, crap.
Oh no! See, and like,
Okay, the good news is that Eric has healing abilities on the other side of the portal.
Yep.
On the other side of the wall. So
Uh-huh.
Yep.
and we
and
have
I
potions.
and that's
Let's go.
so
Let's do this. So who goes first?
I'll go first, I guess.
All right, Randy. Saving throw versus spells. D20. You want to roll as high as possible.
Okay.
No, natural.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
So here's how I envision this playing out. Randy,
Yeah.
seeing Eric roll through the thing,
Okay.
does his best to get himself ready, psyched up to just roll through the thing. And he just kind of like, as he goes to roll through the thing, and he stumbles at the last possible moment when he's about to spring through, and he just sort of catches it straight in the face as he goes through, and it just rolls over him in a wave. You're filled with agony. It's burning. And then mercifully, you're unconscious as you slam through the opposite side of this thing. He'll come staggering out of it, Eric, landing at your feet, passed out and bleeding from his ears, nose, and mouth. What do you want to do?
Yeah, it sounds about right. Lay on hands.
The crowd is going wild, people. There's money being exchanged about whether or not people are going to survive that thing. Yes. Like people are like, oh, yeah, like as people are rolling through the thing. Okay, so Eric hastens over to heal Randy. Joel, are you waiting for a situation report?
No,
Or you just
I
going
guess
through it?
I'll just go ahead. I'm right behind Randy, slightly to the side so I don't trip over him if he doesn't make it.
Saving throw versus spells. Higher is better.
And that is a 2.
So- Not much better.
Nope. But I
Oh
have
my
enough hit points that I
gosh.
survive it.
You stepped
Alright.
off to the right, thinking to yourself, well, I won't run into Randy because he just went through that. The bad news is Eric was standing right there, and so you'll basically collide with him, falling briefly back into the... that hurts a lot! And you will take 20 points of damage. You are now at...
18.
Okay, so, hey, you're not even openly bleeding. Great news. Again,
Yay.
the crowd goes wild. They are loving this sport. They are hoping more people come pouring out of this. Eric, is this a clear situation?
I pick up Randy.
Okay.
Because I'm strong. I can do that. Whoop, I pick him up. I'm healing him while I'm carrying him away.
Nestling
All right,
like him like a baby.
I've still got the cat.
Okay,
I'm
I
just
stuff
like-
Randy into my my jerkin like I did with the cat. No, Randy's a little bigger than that. So
As you are hastening away from this altercation, you can now see the skulls. They are maybe 150 feet away in visual range. There are 3 of them. They are trailing 1 green, 1 orange, and 1 red motes of magic as they come screaming down from the sky towards this place. You might want to be far away from here.
oh yeah,
I'm
we're moving away.
As soon as I saw Eric pick Randy up,
Yeah.
I was like, "All right, I'm out," and I started heading for the dark.
Your
pits there.
destination.
Yes.
Your guide will inform you that you are at most 250 feet away from your destination. So round that corner and we're there.
All right. Around the corner. As soon as I get toward the door, I'll pause at it, nod to the others, and then I'll duck inside.
Gotcha. I'll give you a description of the place and you can tell me what you do when you get there. Okay. So, but you're ahead of the group, lose visual contact with them. Everybody else is hustling together.
We don't
Okay.
really know which way to go, so we're just gonna kind of go the same way we went
Alley's
before, I
back.
guess.
See, did we
Alley's
see
back
Allie?
is that way. Yeah, I'm sure
We saw
Allie
Allie
gave you
leaving.
a
Yeah.
friendly little
I
wave.
Okay.
paused and motioned.
All
like-
right. Then we're gonna
Allie-
follow
Allie
Allie
is the-
then.
Allie is the mistress of the friendly little wave to go
Great.
watching you guys. And
Great.
so, yep. Okay, so you can just pour off in that direction. Randy, you will come to in Eric's arms, filled with a
Hey, buddy.
wave of pleasant healing. Why are you being carried in the street?
Hey.
How many points does Randy get back, Eric?
I healed him
well, huh?
6 hit points, so he is at 1 hit point.
Oh, okay. You're not feeling so great, Randy. Eric should stop bouncing you around like that, or you're going to throw up.
Oh, yeah. Ice cream?
Just as soon as I can get it.
Okay. And you 3 are now around the turn, and you will see Allie standing in front of the structure. So this
Yeah.
must be the place, right?
Yeah, and that's about when
Um,
I kind of do that little head nod and slip inside.
Okay, so let me give you the description, Allie, and then they can deal with their situation. You find yourself standing before a deceptively unassuming two-story stone and wood structure. The building, sturdy, but showing signs of age and wear, stands quietly amidst the chaos of the lower heart of Skullport. A sign hangs above the entrance, depicting a dark-skinned figure with bat-like wings, glowing softly, dancing sensuously. The image seems to flicker and move in the dim light, hinting at the mysteries within. There is a solid wooden door in front of you.
All right. I've still got the cat, but I will pull the door open.
Maybe that's what people pay for an entrance fee in this place is cat. If Buffy, they can gamble with them, then maybe that's what they pay for getting in the door. So just
Okay.
through it.
Yeah,
that the
I will
plan?
go inside.
All right, so I will deal with what you see in an instant,
Okay.
or in a
I'll be
moment,
right
rather.
back.
Okay, the three of you gentlemen have been left out on the street. Eric, you're now standing in front of the structure, which I've described to you. Sign in front of you. Catches your eye with a subtle, eerie glow. It's inviting yet ominous would be how I would describe that sign. Randy, it can be put down now if you need to.
Oh yeah, I think you set me down. I'm fine. I'm good.
Drink this. Into the potion of extra healing.
Okay.
right. Randy, could you roll 3d8 and add 3 to it for me?
D8 and add 3.
3d8.
3d8
3.
plus 3.
Okay. 7, 4, and 3. So it'd be 14, 17.
You
All right.
are. This thing slides down your throat with a heavy peppermint taste, and a rush of healing magic shoots through your body. Woo! That's a heck of a ride. And you are suddenly filled with vigor and health. And you're like, oh, that wasn't so bad at all. I thought I was going to throw up there. It's like I just woke up from a refreshing night's sleep. Anybody got any more of these?
It was like a Bailey's milkshake. This is great. All right.
The best.
Okay. So I'm restored to my full 15, I'm assuming.
That is correct.
Yep. Cool.
Okay. So the three of you, how much of a lead is Allie going to get?
I think I'm voting we get in there as quick as we can. I mean, the skulls are looking, so let's be off the street.
I mean, off the street probably is good, I guess. Yeah. So maybe 30 seconds?
Probably.
Yeah.
Depends on how far ahead
Randy?
of us she was.
Probably 60 because Randy had to drink the potion. Okay,
Yep.
Randy, that good with you?
I have no idea what's going on. Let's do it.
Yeah, I was just unconscious.
Yeah.
Okay. Eric, that good with you?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to give you this description once because it's a lengthy description. So those of you who are still standing outside, imagine that I'm giving the description to you in a few minutes when I'm done giving the description to Allie. Okay? Yes, nod along with the dungeon master. Excellent.
Smile and nod.
I just take the brooch off and I put it on Randy. Just
That just improved your armor class by 2, Randy. Just FYI. Okay. Pushing open the heavy wooden door, Allie, you step into a large common room dominated by a sense of dark, decadent allure. The air inside is thick with the mingled scents of strong liquor, perfumed oils, and clear odors of sweat and some exotic, intoxicating smokes coming from an assortment of things around the room. It's the common room is the heart of this fest hall, filled with a motley collection of used and decadently themed furniture. Deep black and red dominate the color schemes, with hints of a sickly green adding an unsettling touch. Tapestries and curtains of rich dark fabrics hang from the walls and ceiling, casting the room in a shadowy, intimate light. Against one wall stands a large bar near a roaring hearth that bathes the area in a flickering, warm glow. Behind the bar, a tall, burly man with a face marked by scars moves with surprising grace as he serves drinks to its patrons. In the center of the room, a raised stage draws the eye. A well-dressed figure, clearly not human, stands on the stage, singing with a voice that weaves through the air like a silken thread. It's a man, and I'm going to give you a more lengthy description of that man in a moment. But his performance captivates the audience, especially every single female worker or patron in the room, who have their eyes fixed on him with rapt attention. Speaking of patrons, around a dozen tables and chairs fill this room. The chairs separate from the tables themselves have their own sets of chairs, each occupied by patrons of varying races. The majority are human, but there are deep dwarves, orcs, and a few more exotic beings scattered throughout. The patrons are mostly men, their faces reflecting the rough and dangerous life of Skullport. A few haggard-looking women, likely the waitstaff, move among them, their pretty features worn by the harsh realities of their existence in this place. There are small side rooms, concealed by heavy curtains, offering secluded areas for private meetings or more intimate encounters around the room. A set of stairs at the back of the room leads up to the second floor, promising more mysteries above. Standing watch over the room as bouncers are two formidable creatures, sitting there obviously to ensure that order is maintained. One is a burly half-orc. You are presently now standing between them, Allie. His muscular frame and intimidating presence a clear deterrent to troublemakers. The other is a ferocious-looking hobgoblin, his sharp eyes scanning the room for any signs of trouble. This fest hall exudes a sense of danger and allure, right? There's dim lighting, a mix of scents, and eclectic decor that are creating this environment that's both enticing and foreboding. The patrons all seem to be kind of engrossed in their own affairs, with the exceptions of those that are paying attention to the performers singing. Yet there's a palpable tension hanging in the air, a reminder that Skullport is a place where danger is never really very far away. You've been in 2 fest halls since you arrived in the realms. Both have been places of darkness and depravity, but this place is a step up in menace and a step down in quality from the Purple Lady. The Purple Lady hinted at its dark secrets, while with this place, they're out on full display. So much so that I literally cannot describe them and it on a PG-13 stream. Suffice it to say that this place is 100% sex, drugs, and rock and roll, in a way that unsettles the good-hearted. Please use your imaginations to fill in the gaps with my description, dear players and people at home alike. In the Purple Lady, there were predators and prey. This place has the same, but here, not even the prey is innocent. Those who come here seem to know exactly what to expect from this place. You lot, especially you when you come sailing through these doors with your good justice vibes, Eric, will stand out starkly from the regulars, and you will draw eyes from all around the room. Allie, you're drawing those eyes because you're an attractive-looking elf who just rolled through the front door of this place.
I imagine the fitted leathers are not
No,
helping.
doesn't help. Does not help. Nor, frankly, does the mysterious half-mask. That just, enhances the allure. People are going to assess you, and their gaze will either linger hungrily on you, Allie, or once you're through the doors, warily on you, Eric. When you roll through those doors, You, Allie, will be hailed by your voice. It will let loose with a long, satisfied, and sensual sigh that sends a thrill right down your spine. It's purring, literally purring, like you wish that cat in your hand was doing. Finally, a place where I can speak freely. That's our boy over there on stage. He's going to know just how to get her to us. It's one of his many skills with a delicate purr. What do you want to do in the 30 seconds or so you have before your compatriots come rolling through the door?
All right. I'll look over at the stage to kind of assess the individual.
Would you like a description of that person?
Yes, please.
Okay. He is a figure of dark, seductive allure, his appearance betraying his fiendish heritage in subtle yet unmistakable ways. His skin is a bruised blue, reminiscent of a deep night sky, and it seems to shimmer slightly under the lights from above. Small, sharp horns protrude from his forehead, just above his slightly glowing red eyes, which burn with a mischievous and enigmatic gleam. Those eyes, almost hypnotic, sweep across the room, drawing in gazes, especially those of the women present. He is impeccably dressed in a must, but darkly colored ensemble that accentuates his striking appearance. His clothing consists of tight-fitting maroon leggings, a dark forest green vest, and a midnight black tunic that absorbs the dim light of the fest hall. Over that, he's wearing a loose, flowing silk cape of deep blue, which cascades down his back with an effortless grace. The combination of colors is rich and luxurious, hinting at both opulence and danger. His movements are smooth, almost serpentine, giving the impression that he's slithering rather than walking. He dominates the stage with a presence that's both commanding and intimate, his every gesture and glance calculated to enthrall his audience. His high charisma is evident in the way he engages with the crowd, effortlessly drawing them into his performance. His voice is a stunningly deep and sensual baritone that cuts through the room with a hypnotic quality. Have you ever seen those videos of singers that have those surprisingly dark voices, and then women are watching them sing, and then they just sort of get stunned by the man's voice as he's singing? He's got that kind of a quality on the people in this room, women especially. It resonates with a richness that seems to vibrate in the very bones of its listeners, compelling them to hang on every note. The song he's singing is both haunting and seductive, filled with dark undertones and a melody that weaves through the air like a spell, despite the fact that it is in a language that you're utterly unfamiliar with. As he's performing, he seems to be in his element, his enthusiasm palpable but not overly dramatic. There's a subtle edge to his demeanor, a hint of shit stirrer who relishes the chaos and drama that follow in his wake. His eyes, when they lock onto a woman in the crowd, particularly those women who have partners seating next to them, gleam with a knowing, almost playful intent, as if he's aware of the trouble he can stir up. Yes, Allie?
All right. Question.
Mm.
Given that he seems to be enthralling the women here,
Mm-hmm.
I'm curious because I'm gay. So is that having
if you are not attracted to him, you are not attracted to him. It is as simple as that.
I'll take note of the effect, though, definitely, and just kind of be like, all right,
It's pretty clear that any woman who has any attraction is attracted, more so than she probably normally would be. But it is lost on you.
All right, fair. All right. Well, once the others kind of, I'm not going to move too far away from the door just yet. Once the others come in, I'm going to turn. Is Eric still carrying Randy?
No, he seems to have put Randy down, who now seems to be navigating perfectly well under his own power. Eric,
Okay.
Randy, and Joel, you will stride into this place. Eric, holy crap, bro. This place is evil. Evil.
Yeah.
I'm going to hand Eric the cat.
Skullport has been a migraine. I was gonna say I was holding Randy and Joel like bottle fed him,
Yeah.
and then we put him on his feet because he's all better.
You burped him,
Yeah.
and then we were good to go. Okay.
He didn't need to.
Once-
He's an adult. He can do that himself.
Once I see his
Okay.
hands are free, I'm going to
But-
hand him the cat back.
All of us are clearly scalded, though, like smoke rising from us.
No,
Okay,
it's a magical effect that cuts
All right.
straight through to your person.
good.
It hurts
Just-
like it's fire, but it doesn't have that effect on your gear. Okay.
I
so-
take the cat.
Okay.
Wow, this place. Wow.
And I'm gonna make my way toward the stage, I guess. I'm not gonna like get up on it, but I'm gonna like
Mhm.
head up toward it.
Okay, so Allie just sort of hands off the cat and leaves you all in her wake. That leaves the three of you looking at this room. There are two bouncers glowering, well, I'd say down, but they're not glowering down at you, Eric. One of them is glowering level with you, the other is glowering up. Both bouncers are glowering slightly down, or more than slightly down, at you, Randy and Joel. Kind of in a don't clog the doorway sort of a way.
Yep.
Whereas with you, Eric, it's, ew, you feel gross. Why are you standing in my doorway?
I'm just here for a drink, I say, and then I walk toward the bar.
Okay, Eric, just here for a drink, heads towards the bar. Joel, you are on mute.
Okay, stay close to Eric and make sure Randy is coming with us. Unless Randy does not come with us, in which case I stick close to Randy.
No, I'll follow. He
Okay,
says,
then.
I'm just here for a drink. I'll be like,
Yeah,
I'm
let's-
just drink for a here.
Let's
I'll
stay
follow
the
right
night.
after Eric.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Amazing.
the three lads are headed over towards the bar and the scarred bartender. Allie is headed over in the general direction of the stage.
Mhm.
The voice will purr in your mind as you approach the stage. He doesn't know you, so he will neither believe you nor take you seriously at first, but we need his help to find her. So to fix that little problem, I'm going to help you. All you need to do is touch him, bare flesh to bare flesh, and hold that touch for a moment. That should prove easy enough. I'll do the rest. Oh, and do watch Eric. He doesn't seem to be making friends in this place.
No, he doesn't. And I'll kind of glance over that way.
You'll see everybody's watching Eric move over to it. It's like, what the hell is this guy doing in here?
Is
They're
Jamal
all
with
just
us?
eyeing him. Oh, Jamal's inside. Yes, that is true.
I'll whisper to her, hey, just kind of eavesdrop on, like, just kind of make your way around the room. And if anyone's, like, whispering about attacking us or anything, just kind of give us a heads up.
Randy, this place shocks even me. I'll tuck into a shadowy corner and look for danger. But like, we gotta get out of here. That's what you'll say.
I agree.
Okay, fair enough. So the three of you will arrive at the bar. The bartender will look up at you, Eric. What do
Yep.
you want?
A drink.
A drink. What
This is a
manner
bar.
of drink do you want? Are you wearing an open symbol of helm anywhere?
No.
No. Okay, so you just give people yucky vibes.
I'm wearing black leather armor, like black brigandine.
This guy
I
feels
I have this kind of
wholesome.
scintillating cloak.
I know.
My hair is mussed.
Yeah.
My skin looks like I look like I've had a migraine for the last hour,
And
Which
yet
I
they
have.
still all clock you as a paladin.
and I have a goddamn cat, which is like in my coat. I'm like, it's been a long day.
Okay. He'll
What do you
turn
got?
behind the bar and turn around with basically a short stout ton of some sort of alcoholic beverage, place it on the counter. He'll look at you, Joel.
I'm good, thanks.
look at you, Randy.
I just had my blood. Thank you.
I just drank my own blood.
And
when a man drinks his own blood, he don't want nothing else.
I'm
That's
gonna
right.
turn around and put my elbows in the bar, leaning back so that I can watch the room.
Okay. And he will say to Eric, gold crown for you.
Yep, fine. I give him my last gold piece.
And I had exactly 5. Yay! Okay. So it's got a little tap at the bottom corner of it. Did you want a mug to go with that?
Yes.
Do you want to ask for one?
Are there mugs sitting on the bar?
I mean, you could just grab one that's there, yeah.
I do.
Okay, you will. It's not, strictly speaking, clean. Is that a problem?
I pull out a piece of cloth and I just clean it myself.
Okay. Back over to Allie. You, perhaps at exactly that moment, you'll look over in Eric's direction. He is scrubbing the gunk.
I'll
off
just
of this
roll
mug.
my eyes.
Yep.
And I'm gonna look back at the performer,
Mhm.
and I'm not gonna I'm just gonna stand. I'm gonna stand and I'm gonna watch.
He seems to be coming to the end of that song.
And as he comes to the end, I'm gonna try to make direct eye contact.
Oh, he's definitely noticed you. For sure, his eyes were on you for at least a moment during all of that. And as he wraps up that song, there'll be applause from the women scattered all over the room. Do you wish to offer applause as well? Golf clap of doom. Gentlemen at the bar, applause for the singer?
No.
Yeah, I would.
Was he any good?
Yeah, he was. Damn
right.
good. He's got a stunning baritone. So, okay. He will
Or actually, I'll just
tap a
I'll
hat
do
to him.
that.
Oh, tip a
Yeah.
hat to him. He'll
Yeah.
dismount the stage. That's literal. He'll hop down from the stage, Allie, and glide to a table in front of it, occupied by 2 young and buxom human coin lasses of rather dubious character. He will kick back in his chair and down an entire mug of some frothy liquid, all while he's making eye contact with you. They will proceed to drape all over him.
I will approach the table.
Okay.
I might even put a little extra sway in the hips when I do that.
Oh, just to cock out some. Okay, here you go. He's definitely noticing the sway. Eric, you have completed your disinfection as best can be done of this mug.
Okay. I pour some of the drink into it.
You ever smelled paint thinner when you open it up?
Yeah.
Kind of smells like paint thinner when you open it up. This is the strong stuff.
Okay.
Okay. It burns. It burns.
Okay.
You ever had pure grain alcohol?
I have had extremely high proof alcohol before.
This is probably like moonshine level proof. Like, don't drink it all too fast, or you might need a poison saving throw. Okay.
Okay.
The 2 of you can smell it. like that's flammable in a big way. The 2 of you can smell it. And Eric's kind of like,
Is Joel or Randy standing there
yeah, right next to you.
Yeah.
on either side of me?
Mm-hmm. Randy's scanning the room with his elbows on the bar. Excuse me, Joel's scanning the room with his elbows on the bar. Randy's tapping at the performer.
I turn to Joel. Do you think
Tapping his-
alcoholism is a disease?
I think it's a medical condition.
Because paladins are immune to disease.
Well, that doesn't mean you're immune to poison. Doesn't mean you're immune to being drunk.
All right, so, and on that note, we'll back over to Allie. So you'll sway in the hips and move over. He'll look up at you, smile, a toothy smile. He's probably some brand of tiefling, if you had to guess.
Yeah.
You don't know what his line of heritage is. Clearly not similar to the tieflings you've seen so far. The horns are smaller, the skin's a different color, the eyes are a different shade, but some brand of tiefling nonetheless. And he will say in that same rich baritone, well, well, what do we have here? A moon elf in the Dark Dancer, and a gorgeous one at that. A rare sight indeed. What brings such a pretty face to this den of vice and depravity? Those women are shooting you looks that could disintegrate you in place, should it be possible.
Oh, I like this idea. So they are draped all over him, though, correct?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so that is probably not...
defending their territory.
Okay, hand on the table.
Mm-hmm.
Lean in slightly.
Mm-hmm. He'll lean in to match you.
And I'll smile.
He'll smile.
I've been led to believe you can help me with a problem.
Oh, I'm confident that if you have a problem, gorgeous, I can help you solve it.
Perfect.
Problem? Yo, I'll solve it.
I need someone brought here.
Finding people is something that I do. Tell me more.
Well, the person I'm looking for looks alarmingly like me. And she'll even...
Beautiful moon elf, then.
She'll remove the domino mask.
Mm-hmm. He's looking up at you, playful glint in his eyes. So beautiful moon elf, then. Dark, hint of danger.
Exactly.
Hmm. He's got a
goes by the name
cat that eats the canary style.
Goes by the name the Fox at Twilight.
Fox at Twilight. What a lovely name that is. I'm sure I could help you get this person. But there is the matter, of course, of what you'd be doing for me. That voice says something that he wants you to do for him, Alex.
No, I get it. Well, things like this are a negotiation, aren't they?
Always. Everything in life is a negotiation, darling.
If you have to offer me up, Allie, I understand. It's okay.
Randy volunteers as tribute.
Right. I volunteer as tribute. The women are sort of like leaning in, trying to like get his attention, and he will actually kind of move them aside for a moment. And they'll sort of petulantly take their hands off him and sit on either side of him. They are now staring up at you like, following you out into that alleyway and standing you in the back.
And I'm not even bothering to look at them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Well, I think I have an idea of what you want.
I think I have so many ideas of what I want.
Well,
your friend looks just like you.
Indeed she does.
I mean, the only thing I could think of that would be more amazing than one of you would be two of you.
Well, that's certainly up to her.
Everything in life is a negotiation.
As we've already established.
If she's anything like you, I can't imagine she won't be willing to negotiate.
If I know her well, and I know her better than she realizes, I certainly imagine so.
So, was there something more immediate you might be able to give me? I don't work on charity.
I'm going to lean in closer, like face inches apart. And since I know that we have to...
He actually smells good. Like, despite the fact that you're not attracted to him, he actually smells good.
Since I know it has to be skin-on-skin contact for this...
It does, yeah.
I already know where this is going. Don't you start, Eric.
I said nothing.
I said nothing!
And I'm going to kiss him.
Oh, okay. He will return that kiss. Meanwhile, back at the bar. So, Eric, oh god, that was so very strong. You couldn't get down more than about half of that without
That's
starting
fine.
to choke it back up again. You're
Hmm.
trying to manly. I must appear manly in here, so I do not appear as though I cannot hold strong liquor and invite attacks. So,
Would you like me to make a saving throw or something?
no, I think you
Okay.
got this, buddy. You're third
Okay.
level now.
Yeah.
I would like the three of you to roll a 20-sided die and not roll a 20.
Good news. Did not roll a 20.
Okay.
19.
Ooh, close though. Joel?
3.
Okay, so
I mean, I rolled
what?
5.
What the hell? Ellie's making out with that dude at the table.
I mean, we knew that was coming.
No, you didn't.
Really
Because
didn't.
you do not know that the thing said to Ellie she needed to touch him. So it just suddenly, what the hell is
mean-
going on at that table?
I'm playing a part.
She's got this. It's
Yep,
fine.
You know, we keep coming to evil
Okay.
sex clubs. You know, stuff happens.
Stuff happens.
Why can't we go to a sex club in like Silvery Moon or something? Like
I don't know.
that
Vampire
would be
sex
much
club,
better.
Apparently, infernal sex club. I
All
mean,
right,
come
so
on.
we
Well,
now
look at
have a
that.
new
Ilora,
goal.
Ilora needs to find a nice place to work.
New goal.
New goal.
Sex
New goal.
club in Silvery Moon.
There you go.
New goal.
Oh
Okay.
my god.
So the three of you will just be like, oh, par for the course in terms of a response. That's your, yeah? Yeah? Okay.
I mean, if it looks
Amara's
like she
gay.
initiated,
I don't. Oh, she must be doing a thing. Okay.
She's
Yeah, I
committing to
figured
the
you'd
bit.
get it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm committing to the bit.
All right. You know what? I'm gonna look at that guy and I'm gonna like detect evil on him.
All right.
Does he have
okay,
evil intent?
Cool. Not at this moment. Not at
Oh,
this moment. Unless
okay.
you,
Yeah,
unless you consider the thing that he was contemplating alluding to be evil, then there's no present evil
No,
intent.
but if he were like mentally controlling her to make out with him, that would be evil intent, and I
Evil
would
intent,
detect that.
yeah.
So clearly, I can tell from this that Allie is just doing a thing, and we're not going to get in her way.
Committing to the bit. So, Eric, you
Yeah.
are detecting evil intent over in that general direction. You're not finding it there, but holy crap, there's some evil intent off to your right near the flaming hearth. Of this
I
place.
casually glance in that direction.
I casually glance in that direction.
and
All right,
now
well, let me
you're
return.
drunk.
Let me
Never mind.
return to. let me
Never mind
return
the
to-
evil intent rolling off the two women on either side.
That's who I was thought we were going with. Yeah.
They're not
That is
powerful
extremely
enough for that.
violent intent.
Yeah, they're not powerful enough for that evil to
Hmm.
intent to penetrate Eric's evil intent detectors. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to Allie.
Yeah.
So Allie, this is a unusual situation, right? You're leaning in to kiss him, even though you don't want to. So you're doing your bit to commit to the bit, but you're forcing the bit, right?
Mhm.
And he is very eager to receive this kiss. And so that kiss starts out very like intense on his part, his tongue heads straight for your mouth, et cetera, et cetera. And then he just freezes, right? And his demeanor changes completely. His expression goes from playful lust to brief shock to rapt attention. And he will break the kiss and sit up straight in his chair. He is suddenly deadly serious. And he says to you, "Message understood, my lady. I will drop everything and ensure she receives your summons straight away.
Ooh.
I think it should take me about 2 days to set up the meeting. I suggest a location far away from here and prying eyes. She's a habit of being dogged by trouble. Now, doesn't she?"
Yes, she does. I've got a place in mind.
The Mark will say, "Are you thinking what I'm thinking?"
Well, yes, we have a place in 2 days that's just been dropped into our laps.
Excellent. The Rock of Brawl. Laughing Beholder Tavern, I think it was called. It's far away from recent trouble, and as you point out, exactly where we'll be in 2 days' time. I like it.
The Laughing Beholder Tavern. Rock of Brawl.
Rock of Brawl, Laughing Beholder Tavern. It's clear that doesn't necessarily mean anything to him, but it's also clear that he has memorized the location. Eric? So you'll look over in the direction of the evil, right?
Mhm.
You see seated next to the fireplace a man. He's dressed in dark colors with a cowl that's down at the moment. He has well-groomed yellow-white hair and a brush of grayish stubble across his chin and throat. His features are not ugly in and of themselves, but in the whole are pretty hideous. His dusky skin is odd, although it's made of as though it's made of something other than human flesh, even though he's clearly a man. He's wearing tight, dark leathers shot through with red like bloody cuts. His wrists are covered by black bracers with hideous, fiend-like faces melted into the leather. A black hooded cloak swirls around him to complete the ensemble. He is staring deadly daggers straight at you. Does that description sound familiar to you, Eric? I will give you 3 words. Don't trust, 4 words, the warlock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I caught that immediately.
Yeah. No, yeah. I'm like, it could be any number of assholes that I've created over the years, but it's probably, oh God, let's get out of here.
Meanwhile, back over in our conversation, in your head, well done, and with no need for bloodshed. Although, seeing Eric getting the eye daggers stared at him, maybe that's still to be determined, no? Mission accomplished. So we best make our way swiftly out of this place, as much as I wish you could stay and enjoy some of what it has to offer, and swiftly out of this city, before Eric makes himself some new friends.
Agreed, though I have a question. What did you do to him?
I explained to him, in no uncertain terms, precisely what we needed, and the consequences of failure and the rewards of success. He is easily motivated.
I see. I think we're going to have a longer talk about that later. For now, time to leave. And she'll look at him and she'll just go, "Good boy." And she'll turn and walk away.
He will nod, get up from the table, pushing aside those women, and head for the 2nd floor of this place.
Fantastic.
Eric, the man who is staring at you, staring at him, puts a sneer across his face and stands up.
Great.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna fill up that little mug.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not drinking it. I'm just filling it up.
We see
He
Allie
is-
moving toward the door.
Oh,
I'm not
you
moving.
see Allie breaking the kiss, the guy shocking back, a conversation between the two of them. Allie seems very in control of the situation. The guy seems like somebody just slapped him across the face. He's up and headed for the stairs to the 2nd floor.
And I'm
Allie
headed
is
back
about
toward.
to turn back around.
Yeah, I'm going to be heading back toward y'all.
The guy is up from his chair and walking straight over towards you, Eric. You are filling up the container.
Can I eat? Like I have my hand crossbow with me.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Can I I don't know. Can I sneak up around? I'm not gonna do the hand crossbow. I'm gonna do something else. But can I sneak? Kind of circle around and sneak behind the guy, or is it?
Do you want to try and put yourself in position so that you can come at him from behind?
Yes.
You can, but it's going to take you a round and a half to get yourself into that position in a way that you have a shot at sneaking.
Okay.
Okay.
I will do that. I'll just kind of slip around.
That's what you're underway doing. The 3 of you, everybody in this place is watching this situation. This is a high school hallway. Fight, fight, fight scenario. They're expecting violence. Eric, as he's crossing across to you, he seems to be kindling some kind of energy in his hand. Ruby red. Joel, you got something?
Okay, do I see him coming?
Yeah.
Okay,
You totally
so-
see this guy coming.
Okay, so I am going to break away and intercept him. And
Move to get between him and Eric.
yes, and
Okay, hang on, because I'll give
Okay.
Eric a chance to react to that. Randy, Jamal will appear in the air next to you. I don't like the
Mhm.
looks of that guy, she'll say.
Yeah,
Jamal.
I will. He seems very focused on Eric. Beelining for Eric.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I will ready my sanctuary spell and I'll ready my bless spell and
Oh, okay. Sanctuary is Jamal, or excuse me, Randy, fades from the situation. Bless
No,
is-
for
let's
I was
get
gonna
ready
cast it
to
on Eric,
rumble.
but
Read Sanctuary again to be sure you can cast it on another person.
oh really?
But anyway.
Okay. But yeah, already bless and like kind of place myself so that Joel is between me and the person.
Okay, so Joel will be the buffer. So Eric, Joel is getting up to like, I will interpose myself.
One chance, Hell's Heart.
God
Stand down or be cut down.
Okay.
Just-
Why?
Handle
Whoa.
anybody else handle things.
Oh my God, this is going to be fun stuff. But Allie,
I'm
first,
distracting him. What do you
message.
want?
No! We need to be gone from here. We don't want to disrupt the deal we've brokered. We need the services of that tiefling to find her and make sure we get where we need her to go. Stop that righteous fool before he brings this whole place down on top of our heads. And that is where we will end our episode for tonight.
Sure, it'll be fine.
Yeah, this could possibly.
We all knew this was coming. All right. Well, I have been Eric Scott V playing Elric Thalavar. I feel like I was doing a pretty good job not getting into fights until apparently an unavoidable one is headed toward me. So here we go. You can find my writing places on the internet. You should join our Discord here at the Dungeon Scrollers. We talk about this campaign and others. It's a fun time. And yeah, we'll see what happens next time. Take it away, Allie.
Hi, everybody. I am Alexander Pitchford, or Allie for short. I'm a writer, game designer, and TTRPG streamer. And Amara kind of wants to throttle Elric right now, but that's kind of how it goes. We'll see how this shapes up next time. So stay tuned. Randy?
Hi, I'm Randy. I almost died this episode. I'll probably almost die in the next episode. Stay tuned. Joel?
You know, when Eric died last time, I had thoughts about, you know what? Are our odds better or worse with him back? All right, so I've been Joel Everett, and thank you for coming along on this journey with us. Oh, it's about to get messy. Chris.
All right. Again, thank everyone for watching. I appreciate everybody who comes out and watches these games. They are a true labor of love, and so I appreciate you all coming along on this ride with us. I love, Eric, how you've always got to be the clever dude who calls out to the person on the other side of things, making it clear you know more stuff than what they know about the situation. That's 2 in 1 episode, KTG and Mr. Hell's Heart.
I am literally trying to diffuse situations without violence. And yet somehow everybody gets angry at me. I'm like, all right, fine.
You've done this character better than anybody. What are the chances he backs down now?
Joel had that situation covered. I think Joel would tell you. Anyway, we'll see how the whole thing plays out the next time we join our adventurers. Been a pleasure, everyone. Good night.